This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
The following presentation on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being brought to you by Hood Canal Communications, committed to providing quality services that exceed customer expectations in voice, video, data, and customer service, keeping our community connected since 1934. Mason County Public Health and Human Services Prevention Education Partners Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition. Mason PUD 3, connecting our community with safe, reliable, economical, and sustainable services 24/7. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate. When it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge. Mason County Public Utility District Number 1, Washington State's first public utility district, proudly serving the Hood Canal in Mason County since 1935. And Mason Health, united community, empowered people, exceptional health. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the baseball field on the North Mason School District campus in Belfair, Washington. Today, Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, continues coverage of high school spring sports with Olympic League baseball featuring the North Mason Bulldogs and the Olympic Trojans. My name is Diedrich Allen, and joining me for this broadcast is Jerry Apple.
Hi, Diedrich. What a beautiful day. 77 degrees out.
Well, it could be higher than that. We're told
could be even higher
in the parking lot, but yeah, 77 at the Bremerton National Airport. North Mason comes into this game with a 9-8 overall record, 5-7 in league play. The Bulldogs are coming off last Wednesday's 4-1 loss to Bainbridge. Olympic is 9-9 on the season, also 5-7 in the league. The Trojans lost to Lakeside of Seattle Saturday, 8-1. North Mason and Olympic are tied with Sequim for fourth place in the standings. The top 5 teams make the District 3 playoffs. This is the first meeting of the season between the Bulldogs and the Trojans. Coming up, Jerry has the lineups, the batting orders, and of course we have the first pitch. We are also recognizing 4 North Mason seniors: Boston Stanley, Skylar McLean, Carson Morris, and Josiah Ringstad. It's Olympic League Baseball, the Olympic Trojans at the North Mason Bulldogs on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
What is fiber internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you it's just internet. Internet that can do whatever you need. Crystal clear video chats with the family, smooth streaming of your favorite shows, uploading a ton of vacation photos in an instant. Even all of the above, all at once. Switch to fiber internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months of gig speed service. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
Kids learn by watching adults, so consume cannabis out of sight of young people. And be a Mason County kid's greatest influence. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and the Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
This presentation on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being brought to you by Mason County Public Utility District Number 1, Washington State's first public utility district, proudly serving the Hood Canal in Mason County since 1935.
An important safety reminder from Mason PUD 3. Please never touch a downed power line. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay inside and call 911. Tell others to stay back. Wait for emergency personnel. Never touch anyone or anything in contact with a downed power line. Always stay at least 100 feet away. Never use an object to move a downed wire. Don't remove trees or limbs near a downed line. Electricity travels through ground, trees, branches, and more. It's not safe. If you see a downed line, call PUD 3 at 360-426-8255.
With all the question marks and uncertainty that surrounds today's real estate market, it is nice to know that there is a local team that has the experience with all types of markets to ensure you make a sound decision, whether selling or buying. Real estate has been a staple in the Mason County community for over 40 years. Feel free to reach out to Jeff, Andy, Chrissy, or Laura with any real estate questions that you may have. When it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge. And we're back in Belfair. Diedrich Allen, Jerry Apple. Olympic and North Mason, little baseball for you on a beautiful afternoon. There was absolutely no breeze when we arrived here, and now there's a little one coming across our tables here, and I'm fine with that.
It feels nice.
It's nice. Keeps everything cool. Cools us off. Starting lineups, Jerry. What do you got?
Okay, first for the visiting Olympic Trojans. Leading off is number 2, the right fielder, Cooper Burdick. Batting second is the shortstop, number 18, Blake Parker. Batting third, the pitcher for the Olympic will be number 34, Chase Benninger. Batting cleanup and the designated hitter, number 6, Antonio Castorina. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 13, Jake Gordon. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 21, Drew Waters. Batting seventh is the second baseman, number 7, Colby
Andrews, actually.
Andrews.
Yeah.
Colby Andrews. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't read my own writing.
Well, we want to give you this great little lineup.
Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 4, Gavin Wells. Batting ninth, the third baseman, Nino Wells. And playing first base but not batting will be number 18, Andrew Payne. And that's your starters for the Olympic Trojans. And now for the North Mason Bulldogs, the home team under Coach Rick Beal. Leading off will be the pitcher, number 44, Boston Stanley. Batting second will be the center fielder, Jones. Danner Jones. Batting third will be the catcher, number 30, Calvin Rice. Batting cleanup, the shortstop, number 23 is Reed Shoemaker. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 25, Kingston Serbakov. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 27, Chris Arborgist. Batting seventh, the right fielder is Skylar McLean. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 20, Carson Morris. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 17, Josiah Ringstad. And like you mentioned, there's 4 starters in the lineup that are seniors.
Yeah. Gonna run them down for us there, Jerry?
Yes.
Or you want me to?
Boston Stanley.
Yep.
Chris Arborgast.
Yep. Is it Arborgast?
Yeah. Arborgast. Number 27.
It's Gast.
Arborgast. Thank you. Skylar McLean. Carson Morris.
Yeah, I think you're. I don't.
And Josiah Ringstad. I got 5.
You did not mark down Arbogast on here. I don't think he's a senior, Jerry.
He's not a senior.
I don't think he is.
No, but we still have.
There's 4.
Yeah, there's 4.
Okay.
And just Stanley.
Stanley,
McLean, Morris, and Ringstad.
Yeah, that's what.
Thank you.
That's what your notes say right here, Jerry.
Yep.
Unless you missed one.
No, there's 2 other seniors, but they play JV.
Right.
So
they're busy playing today. All right, just so that we were all on the same page, right?
I think we are now.
Okay.
I like to confuse you.
Yeah, that's all right.
I do a good job of it, don't I?
You do. It's great to have Jerry on your team for many, many reasons. We will take a quick timeout. We'll be back with the first pitch between Olympic and North Mason. Today, the season's starting to wind down. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
What is gig speed internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you that it's marathoning movies on your favorite streaming service with no interruptions, or having the grandkids over and not hearing a single complaint about your Wi-Fi. In other words, it's just what you needed. Switch to gig speed internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
Mason County is a very special place. When you're looking for sound real estate advice, pick the team that has called Mason County home for 5 generations. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate is always thrilled to help you buy or sell real estate in our area. Whether it is Hood Canal, Harstein Island, Matlock, Tahuya, South Puget Sound, or Shelton, the Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate has the experience you can trust. Remember, when it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge.
Neighbors help each other. It's how community works, and it's how we do business at Hood Canal Communications. We know you count on us for value-priced internet, TV, and phone service, backed by friendly local support. Your hard-earned dollars stay right here as we invest in our community, our people, and smart technology. Hood Canal Communications, keeping our community connected while being a good neighbor.
Mason County is a very special place. When you're looking for sound real estate advice, pick the team that has called Mason County home for 5 generations. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate is always thrilled to help you buy or sell real estate in our area. Whether it is Hood Canal, Harstein Island, Matlock, Tahuya, South Puget Sound, or Shelton, the Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate has the experience you can trust. Remember, when it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge.
And we're waiting for the first pitch between North Mason and Olympic today from Belfair. North Mason's on the field in all the white uniforms with the blue letters. And Olympic will have the pinstripe pants and the blue jerseys on. And we're ready to get this thing underway as Boston Stanley takes his warm-ups here on the mound for the Bulldogs.
It's interesting they didn't wet down the infield, but I don't know if they can get a hose out to there.
Oh, they might have dried up a little bit. You look at the mound, it looks slightly moist, but
it does, yeah, it does.
There's a lot of dust getting kicked up here. This is a sharp contrast to the first game we did from here where it was a mud bowl out there.
Yes.
You were not here for that game, but these guys were just kicked in mud.
Well, I remember we came here to announce a girls fast pitch game between North Mason and North Kitsap.
Right.
And they were about ready to play. They were all warmed up, and the umpire, I believe, after they got the scorecard, said, we can't do it.
We can't do it, yeah.
And it was muddy.
It was muddy as all get out.
It was bad.
Yeah, it's a good thing. They want to protect the field as much as they possibly can, because this is not, you want to be able to get the games in, but there's a weighing the conditions versus weighing getting the game in.
You at least have to consider safety.
That's the biggest part of it. Yeah.
That is.
Stanley going through his warm-ups.
And we know that Stanley can pitch pretty fast. Has a pretty good fastball.
He does. So here we go with the first batter, who looks rather young.
Yeah, and up is number 2, the right fielder, Cooper Burdick.
Yeah, I got to tell you, he looks like a freshman, Jerry.
Yeah, but he will have a small strike zone.
Yeah, that's the one advantage he has.
That is one big advantage.
Yeah. Well, leading things off for the Trojans here, and I have a mistake on my graphic already. Boy, I'm starting out well. All right, let's go there. First pitch is in there for strike one. So 0-1 to Burdick. The leadoff batter for Olympic here this afternoon. Here is the next pitch on the way. Fastball, strike 2 called down the middle of the plate. 0-2 to Burdick.
Ahead of the game there, Mr. Boston Stanley.
And here is the next offering from Stanley to Cooper Burdick, leadoff batter. Strike 3 called. That's out number 1 for the Trojans.
Yeah, and now up is your second hitter in the lineup for the Trojans, the shortstop, number 18, Blake Parker.
It's actually number 8, Jerry.
You got number 8 there?
Yeah, he's wearing number 8.
It is correct, yeah.
Number 8. Parker, 0 for 3 with a walk against Lakeside on Saturday. Did not tell you what Mr. Burdick did. Falling down on the job, Jerry. Here's the first pitch in there. Strike.
Wow, he's throwing nothing but strikes so far in the first 4 pitches.
Parker steps back in, waits for the 0-1 from Stanley. Boston, big sigh. Here's the pitch on the way, another fastball. Just missed that time.
I think I jinxed him.
You certainly did, Jerry. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sorry about that.
That was a ball on the inside. And Stanley getting into his routine. Here's the pitch on the way. That's high, and that's Gonna make our camera shake a little bit. Apologize for that. It says it's anchored a lot better than it was yesterday, but this fence is a little looser.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Next time I'm gonna have to remember to move it over to this side of the pole.
Yeah, last night that was the first time it fell.
It didn't fall. It just got knocked
It got
down.
pretty shaken?
Yeah, it got knocked off, Jerry. I was looking at the sky. It's all right. So 2-1. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball chopper over there. Takes a wild hop over the head of Ringstad into right field. I don't know what happened to that ball. It just hopped right over
It did.
Ringstad.
I'm going to give it a single.
I think you should, Jerry.
Because that
was
looked so
was,
predictable,
yeah.
and then boom, right over his head.
Ringstad was in position, and it just hit the dirt or something and took a wild hop.
And now up is your third hitter, number 34, the pitcher, Chase Benninger.
Chase was 0 for 3 against Lakeside on Saturday.
Yeah, that took a mean hop.
Yeah. So 1 on, 1 out. Top of the first, no score here. Olympic at bat. Here's pitch on the way, fastball outside and a little bit high for ball 1. Worried about the runner over there at first base in Parker. Here's the next pitch on the way from Stanley to Benninger. Pop-up fly ball, center field, going back out there. It is up against the fence. And they're telling him to go to 3. Parker rounds third, heading home. And a throw in, takes a wild hop, and the Olympic Trojans are on the board first. And in the play, Benninger ends up on third base with 1 in and 1 out.
But he did get credit for a double on that because of the throw.
All right.
Okay, and now up is your cleanup hitter, the designated hitter, Antonio Castorina.
And Antonio, let me find him on my sheet here. I know he's here.
But Chase does have credit for an RBI.
Yeah, 1 for 2, a walk, and 2 runs scored. So 1 in, 1 out, 1 on, runner at third base in a 1-0 ball game. Swing and a miss by Castorina. We have a runner at third base. 0-1 the count. Next pitch on the way, a little bit low. Ball 1, 1-1. Trying to get everything situated here, Jerry. A little difficult for me today. I don't know. It's any different than it was yesterday, but here we go. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 1-2 the count. Try that again. 1 on, 1 in. Benninger at third base. 1 out for Olympic. They're leading 1-0. Stanley taking a little bit of time this time. Pitch on the way. Pop fly out of play over to first base line, over the dugout, and out of play. So the count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, the Olympic Trojans here in the bottom or top of the first have had a single and a double, 2 hits in a row.
Castorina back. Takes a timeout. We're going to have a courtesy runner come out for Benninger, and that courtesy runner is going to be number 10. That's Jay Brown, and it's Jackson Brown.
Jackson Brown, yes.
Jackson Brown. I got too many sheets going in different directions, Jerry, with different information everywhere. I feel like my mentor, Bill O'Mara. All right, so 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter. Again, runner at third base, 1 in, 1 out. Pitch on the way, and that one's a ground ball. It's going to chop foul at the third base line. Castorina battling here. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on, 1 in. Olympic on top, 1-0 here. Early, striking early. Brown takes the lead over there. Third base. In the grass, he's actually standing. Boston Stanley with the pitch to the plate. Fastball, pop that one up over our heads, Jerry. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to Antonio Castorina. 1 out, 1 on, 1 in. Olympic on top, 1-0, top of the first inning. Just underway here in Belfair today. Stanley gets the sign he wants. Takes his time. Here's the pitch. Fastball, and others up on top of over the camera. Making everything shake, folks. It's not an earthquake. It's a ball against the fence. Count still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Castorina.
Yeah, Castorina is making him work.
Right.
Trying to up that pitch count, huh?
And now it's at 16. Pitch on the way, swinging a fly ball. That one's playable. Sabrakov was coming in, but Stanley comes out and grabs it on the run, and that's out number 2. So 2 down, 1 on, 1 in.
And now up is 5th hitter for the Trojans, number 13, the catcher, Jake Gordon.
Oh, Jake was 0 for 3 on Saturday. So there are 2 outs. Runner at third base. And 1 in for the Trojans here. Striking early. Here's the first pitch to Gordon. High, ball 1. Little dusty out here, Jerry.
Yeah, it
you
is.
were mentioning that in the beginning.
A little bit, yeah.
Little dusty on the dirt. Here's a pitch on the way, fastball. Strike call, a little delayed strike on that one. 1-1.
Hit the bottom of the strike zone.
Home plate umpire want to make sure before he called it out.
Exactly. We've learned. Don't second guess the umpire.
It may look great to us, but that's not what the guy behind the home plate sees. Here's the 1-1 to Jake Gordon. Pitch on the way. Another fastball. That's popped up. Heading over there. Sabrakov on the run. Can't get to it. It's out of play. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jake Gordon. Kingston, Sabrakov over there at first base. If you were not aware of that. On the run, trying to get to that ball. They're not letting anything go. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, 1 on, 1 in for the Trojans here, top of the first. 1-0 is their score. Here's a pitch on the way from Stanley. That bounces in there, gets away from the catcher. And coming in to score is going to be Brown, making it 2.
Yeah, wild pitch on that.
Calvin Rice, the catcher, threw off that mask to make sure. So 2 in, bases are now empty for Olympic. They're leading 2-0. Top of the first.
Yeah.
2 out, and the count is 2-2 to Jake Gordon. Walters on deck. Should Gordon reach? That's ball 3 on that pitch. So Jake Gordon has a full count. Takes his time. Stanley with the pitch. Fastball high, ball 4, and that sends Gordon over to first base. So 1 on, 2 out, 2 in for Olympic here.
And now up is Drew Walters. He's playing center field, number 21.
He was 1 for 3 with an RBI against Lakeside of Seattle on Saturday. Stanley taking his time. Here's the pitch to the plate. Strike on the outside corner. So 0-1 to Walters. Next pitch bounces in there. Runner's going to go and make his way over to second base is Jake Gordon. So runner in scoring position here early.
Pass ball on that one.
So Gordon's at second. Count is 1-1. Well, I don't have that updated, don't I? 2 out. Pitch on the way. Fly ball. over there into shallow right. Going out to get it is Ringstad, and that'll end the inning. But the Trojans get 2, leave 1. They lead 2-0 heading to the bottom of the first. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
An important safety reminder from Mason PUD3. Please never touch a downed power line. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay inside and call 911. Tell others to stay back, wait for emergency personnel. Never touch anyone or anything in contact with a downed power line. Always stay at least 100 feet away. Never use an object to move a downed wire. Don't remove trees or limbs near a downed line. Electricity travels through ground, trees, branches, and more. It's not safe. If you see a downed line, call PUD3 at 360-426-8255.
Hi folks, Diedrich Allen with Mason Web TV powered by HCC, your source for live high school sports with play-by-play. Once again, Mason Web TV is broadcasting select games every week this school year. Football, basketball, baseball, softball. We bring you all the action, from the kickoff to the final whistle, from the tip-off to the final buzzer, from the first pitch to the last out. Watch how it happens on Mason Web TV powered by HCC. Business owners, you can get in on the action as well. Go online, email, call, or text right now to find out how.
And we head to the bottom of the first inning, 2-0 Olympic. North Mason coming up.
It was 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base, and 1 walk for the Olympic Trojans. Leading off for the North Mason Bulldogs will be the pitcher, number 14, Boston Stanley, who is one of the 4 seniors that we're recognizing tonight.
And Boston, in their last game, in their loss to Bainbridge on Wednesday, 1 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Want to talk about the pitcher for Olympic, Chase Benninger. He did pitch against Lakeside on Saturday. He went to 2 1/3 innings, 5 earned runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and he did face 16 batters. Just so that you have that line in your head. If you were wondering, I don't know. Here's Boston Stanley.
That's okay. That's good information.
Boston Stanley will step in and lead things off for the Bulldogs, trailing 2-0 here. First pitch to him. Strike on the outside corner. 0-1. I know what I have to do here, Jerry, to make it a little easier for me. I'm going to move some stuff around.
Okay.
But I won't do that right now. Here's a pitch on the way. That one's high, ball 1-1 to Stanley. Boston Stanley, the leadoff batter for the Trojans. Or, I'm sorry, for the Bulldogs against the Trojans. All tied for, what, 4th place? Is that what I said, Jerry, in the beginning? Yeah, I think it was. Pitch on the way outside. Hit that outside corner. Boy, is Benninger's painting the corner, Jerry.
What do they have, a 3-way tie for 4th?
Yeah, 3-way tie for 4th.
And only 2 of those teams will be able to go.
Right, that's right. So it's, yeah. With Squim in the mix there, it'll come down to the last games of the season, it looks like, to determine. Here's the next pitch. That's ball 2, 2-2 the count to Boston Stanley. Leadoff batter for the Bulldogs here. Bottom of the first. 2-0 Olympic on top. North Mason at bat. Here's the next pitch on the way from Benninger. He'll pop fly center field. Getting under it is going to be Walters, and that will record the out for first out for the Bulldogs here.
And now up will be Danner Jones, and he's playing center field, number 7.
Danner was 1 for 3 against Cambridge. 1 out, nobody on for North Mason here, trailing 2-0 to the Olympic Trojans. Here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the first pitch to Jones, swinging a fly ball. That's going to drop in for a base hit, get underneath the outfielder there in left field. Jones is headed to second base with a stand-up double. So 1 out, 1 on now for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, now up is your catcher, number 30, Calvin Rice.
And Calvin was 3 for 4 with a double and an RBI.
And we've had a chance to watch him really improve in the last year and a half. Just last 2 years. It's great.
He'll step in. Wait for the first pitch for Benninger. Danner Jones at second base, 1 out. Here's the first pitch on the way. It's a fly ball, right field, out there and Getting under it is going to be Burdick on the play, tagging up and going over to third place, or third base, I should say, is Danner Jones. So 2 away and a runner at third for North Mason.
Yeah, and now up is number 23, the shortstop, Reed Shoemaker.
And Reed was 1 for 4 with a double against Bainbridge. So Danner Jones is at third base, 2 out for the Bulldogs here, trailing 2-0. Standing up because I feel like it, Jerry. Yeah.
Stretch the legs.
Yeah, pretty much. Here's first pitch to Shoemaker. Ground ball chopper over to short. It's going to be gloved there. Throw to first is high. And they got him. And that will be that for the Bulldogs. Head to the second, 2-0. Olympic with the lead coming up on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
What is gig speed internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you that it's marathoning movies on your favorite streaming service with no interruptions, or having the grandkids over and not hearing a single complaint about your Wi-Fi. In other words, it's just what you needed. Switch to gig speed internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
Kids can't tell when food or drinks include cannabis, especially when the package is fun and colorful. Remember to store in a safe place, out of sight and out of reach. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
This broadcast on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being made possible by Mason Health, United Community, Empowered People, Exceptional Health.
And we head to the second inning, 2-0, Olympic with the lead. And the Trojans are coming up here.
Yeah, and leading off will be number 7, the second baseman, Kobe Andrews.
And Kobe was 0 for 3 on Saturday against Lakeside. So, here we go to the second inning of play. And the Trojans have got to work real early here, lead 2-0. Got to take your opportunities when they come, don't you, Jerry?
Yeah, they were able to pick up 2 hits there in the first inning, a double and a single, and scored 2 runs.
And it should be balls in. Here's the last warm-up for Boston Stanley. No change in the infield or the outfield that I can see here for the Bulldogs. Pretty early for any changes, right, Jerry?
It is. Usually around the 4th, 5th inning, we start to see the scorecards being given to the home umpire. So Kobe Andrews steps in.
Andrews will step in, leadoff batter for the Trojans here in the second inning. Here's the first pitch from Boston Stanley. High, ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Colby Andrews, and there's that bat. Here's the kick and the throw. Fastball inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Andrews. Next pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Andrews. Next pitch on the way. It's going to be high, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. To Colby Andrews, leadoff batter for Olympic here. Top of the second inning. Here's the next pitch on the way. Ball 4. And there's a leadoff walk.
And that's the second walk given up by Boston Stanley here in the ball game. And up next is the left fielder, number 4, Gavin Wells.
Gavin was 0 for 2 against Lakeside. So 1 on, nobody out for the Trojans from Olympic. A little bit of chatter coming from that first base dugout, Jerry. Here's the first pitch on the way. It's going to be a bit high. Ball 1-1-0. 1 on, nobody out. Colby Andrews over at first base. Here's the next pitch. It's going to be ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. To Gavin Wells. Andrews takes the lead at first base. Here's pitch on the way. Fastball. Strike on that outside corner. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Colby Andrews takes the lead there at first. Gavin Wells waits for the next pitch from Stanley. Here it comes. A little bit high. 3 balls, 1 strike now. To Gavin Wells.
And he could be taking on this 3-1. It depends.
And we wait for the next offering from Stanley. Throw to first. And diving back into the dirt there is Colby Andrews. If you don't get your uniform dirty, you haven't played. Is that right, Jay?
Especially today.
Especially today. But it's just dry dirt. It'll dust right off. Here's the 3-1 from Stanley. Fastball, strike 2 called. So the count goes full.
Yeah, he was taking, but boy, it caught that corner. It was a nice pitch.
So Gavin Wells will step back in. No outs, 1 on. Colby Andrews at first base for Olympic here, leading 2-0. We're in the top of the second. Here's the pitch from Stanley. Pop that one up, out of play, overhead. Everybody ducks for that one. So the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's a reason we're right up against the fence, isn't there, Jerry? I don't know where that ball came down, but it came down.
And I'm laughing, you know.
Yeah, one of these times it's going to come straight down and smack us right in the head. So full count again to Gavin Wells. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that one's fouled off the first base line, out of play. Count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, 1 on. Colby Andrews remains at first base. It's a little quiet here. It's kind of strange. Sure.
Yeah.
Guess we're used to that pool pump. Here's a pitch on the way, and a ground ball that goes foul into the dugout and third base line.
Yeah, Gavin Wells, like I said, is making the pitcher work.
Yeah, Stanley.
Stanley must have a lot of pitches so far.
This is
pitch
39.
Count. How many?
39.
39, wow.
In 2 innings.
That's too many.
That's a lot. So here's the pitch on the way. It's going to be high, and there's a runner at first and second now for the Trojans.
Yeah, 2 consecutive walks. And now up is number 9, the third baseman, Nino Wells.
You're right about, is that right? Is it Wells, number 9? It's Nino Wells. Okay, that's interesting.
It's Gavin. Well, it's Gavin
Nino
on your sheet. And on his sheet, it was Nino.
Okay, we'll go with Nino.
Okay.
I don't know why I have a completely different name here.
Well, it could be a nickname. It could be. I don't know.
It's probably somebody wrote it wrong.
Either way.
So Nino Wells. Let's see if I would imagine this is right. 0 for 2. So runners at first and second, nobody out for the Trojans here in the top of the second. Olympic leading 2-0. Here's a pitch on the way. Fastball. That's going to get away from Rice, and runners will advance second and third now. So 2 runners in scoring position.
I think it's good for the coach to come out and talk.
Andrews is at third. That's Colby Andrews.
Not going to.
And Gavin Wells is at second. And the batter is
Wells.
Nino Wells.
Okay, we'll go either way.
Nino is at the batter. He is 1 ball. 2-0 ball game here. Here's the pitch from Stanley. Fastball. There's a strike. 1-1. I see the difference when Stanley gets into that fastball strike, Jerry. Comes in pretty fast and straight down. Here comes the 1-1. Nobody out, 2 on. Pitch on the way. Ground ball, chopper. High chopper is going to be gloved there by Shoemaker, but no throw. And another run. A run comes in to score, making it 3-0.
So give Wells an RBI, and Kobe Andrews scored.
So you've got the Wells at the corners. Nino at first and Gavin at third. Nobody out, 1 in for the Trojans.
And now up is number 2, Cooper Burdick, the leadoff hitter for the Trojans, and he is 0 for 1.
First pitch to him is a little outside. Nice job by Rice to get that ball.
Yeah.
So again, Nino Wells over there at first base. Gavin Wells at third, 1 in, nobody out. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss by Burdick. 1-1. That's the count to Burdick.
Yeah, Burdick is playing right field.
He'll step back in. Wait for the 1-1 from Stanley. You look at Burdick and Stanley, there's a big difference.
Yeah,
pitch on the way, there's a bouncer that gets away and a pass ball. Wells is going to come in and score. No throw from Rice. And the other Wells ends up at second base, and that makes it 4-0. Olympic. So it's 2-1. That's right. Okay. Just updating all the graphics, folks. Stand by. As another run has come in, and it is 4-0. And Cooper
no outs yet.
No outs. And Cooper Burdick is back into the box with 2 balls and 1 strike. Runner at second, and that is Nino Wells. He'll take a big lead out there. His pitch on the way. Strike called for strike 2. Burdick shakes his head, thinking I should have swung at that one. So 2-2. No outs, 1 on, 2 in for the Trojans here, leading 4-0. We're in the top of the second. Wells takes the lead over there at second. Pitch on the way. Check swing. Did he go? As a strike, and Burdick is out for out number 1.
And now up is number 8. Let's get it right this time. Blake Parker, the shortstop. He scored the first run and has a single. He's 1 for 1.
Did he write it down wrong? I think he might have wrote it down wrong. No, I don't know where you got the 1 there, Jerry. I don't know.
I don't know either. I think I see what I did now.
Okay, here's the first pitch. It's going to get away from Rice and heading over to third base as well.
Yeah. The wild pitches and the walks are hurting North Mason right now.
So Parker will step back in here in a moment as Boston Stanley rubs the ball a little bit, clear his head, I think. 4-0 is the score. 1 out, 1 on, 2 in for Olympic here in the second inning. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss by Parker. 1-1. Benninger on deck for Olympic. Here's the 1-1. It's going to be high, ball 2. Sorry, I just keep pushing the wrong buttons here, folks. Parker steps back in, waits for the 2-1 from Stanley. There's a fastball, a little high, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike.
That count must be up close to 50 now.
Let's take a look. 51. Jerry's got it right. Jerry's always got it right. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Thank you.
2 in, 1 out, 1 on. Pitch on the way. That's going to be ball number 4. And so Parker heads over to first base, and the Trojans have runners at the corners again.
Yes, they do. And now up is Chase Benninger. And Chase scored the second run, has an RBI, has a double, is 1 for 1.
So coach comes out to the mound for to chat it up with Boston Stanley. Hey, if you're enjoying this broadcast, please give us a like on your favorite social media. Use the handle at MasonWebTV to find us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Subscribe and follow Mason Web TV so you never miss anything. We're also on Blue Sky Social. Just signed up for that. Boston Stanley's afternoon is done on the mound. He's going to head over, it looks like, to third base.
Yeah, that's normally where he plays if he doesn't pitch.
And coming in from the outfield is Tanner Jones.
Okay.
So the question is who's going to take the spot out there in center field, and it's going to be Caden Atencio heading to center field.
Okay.
So Stanley moves over to third. Probably should make that changes on my little my little board here, but Jones is going to go through a couple of warm-ups. We'll step aside 4-0 Olympic with 1 out and 2 on. When we come back, this Mason Web TV powered by HCC.
Mason County is a very special place. When you're looking for sound real estate advice, pick the team that has called Mason County home for 5 generations. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate is always thrilled to help you buy or sell real estate in our area. Whether it is Hood Canal, Harstein Island, Matlock, Tahuya, South Puget Sound, or Shelton, the Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate has the experience you can trust. Remember, when it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge.
What is fiber internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you it's just internet. Internet that can do whatever you need. Crystal clear video chats with the family, smooth streaming of your favorite shows, uploading a ton of vacation photos in an instant. Even all of the above, all at once. Switch to fiber internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months of gig speed service. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
Tanner Jones takes over on the mound for North Mason Bulldogs. He inherits a 4-run lead by Olympic. 1 out and runners at the corners.
And he gave up 3 hits and 4 walks.
That was Stanley.
Yep.
And Jones is going through his last couple of warm-ups. So, yeah. Get the scoreboard back up for everybody. Again, we got runners at first and third. I believe, let's see here. I'm sorry, Jerry, I'm just trying to figure out everything here.
Yeah.
My crutches are not working today. All right, Parker's at third. And, no, Parker's at third, right? Parker's at third? Parker's at first. And
Nino
Wells is at third. There we go. All right.
Now up is number 34, the pitcher, Chase Benninger, and he scored the second run, has an RBI, and is 1 for 1, has a double.
All right, so Tanner Jones looks things over. Get ready to throw the first pitch to Benninger. Again, runners at first and second. 2 runs are in here, 1 out. I'm sorry, first and third. Excuse me, I said second, never mind. Pitch on the way, runner goes. Fake throw over to third to get the runner back, but runner makes it over to second. Sorry.
And it was good to hold that throw.
Yeah.
You know, he would have got him on that anyway.
Well, that's what you think, but a run would have come in. Here's the next pitch on the way.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
So that's a second strike for Benninger. So 0-2 with 1 out. 2 on, 2 runners in scoring position. Little stoppage play right here.
Looks like he tweaked his back a little bit.
So again, runners at second and third, 1 out, 2 in. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, and that's out number 2. As Danner Jones gets Benninger down swinging. So 2 out, 2 on, 2 in.
And now up is number 6, the designated hitter, Antonio Castorina. He is 0 for 1.
Okay. That's all you have to say, 0 for 1. I always expect more out of you, Jerry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's nothing else to do. Here's a pitch on the way. That one's fouled up and nearly hit the camera.
It's hard to believe that Diedrich has given me the green light to talk as much as I want.
Hey, I'd let you call a batter. Come on. Or at least half a bad.
I get him to laugh once in a while.
So that's a strike 1 to Castorino. Here's the next pitch on the way. It's swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 to Antonio.
He's throwing some heat, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Lulls you to sleep, I think he does. Does Jones. Back on the mound. 2 out, 2 on, 2 in, 4-0. Pitch on the way. There's the ball. And Rice did a good job to at least knock that down.
And probably a little communication there from the pitcher saying, hey, it's in front of you.
But he knocked it down. That's the key, right?
Yep, that is the key.
Keeps the runner out there at third base. As Olympic has runners at second and third. 2 out. 1-2 the count to Castorina. Jones into his windup. Here's the pitch. That's going to hit him, and that loads the bases. So 3 on, 2 out.
And now up is number 13, the catcher, Jake Gordon. And he walked back in the first.
Sorry, I was taking a drink of my Gatorade. Back in the first, and we're in the second inning, so, boy.
I know.
Yeah. Danner Jones on the mound. Bases are loaded. 2 out, 2 in. Here's the first pitch to Gordon. It's low, ball 1.
Yeah, this is the 8th hitter here in the second inning for Olympic.
So 1 ball. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Good fastball. 1-1. 2 out, 3 on. 2 in for Olympic here in the second. Here's the kick and the pitch. Swing and a ground ball. It goes foul. Nice play out there, but he couldn't get it. Had a glove, it would have been a good clean play. But it's foul ball, so 1-2. I'm just kidding.
We've seen some nice pitches, nice plays made by the third base coaches, though.
The coaches, well, they got to represent, right?
Yeah.
So Gordon steps back in with a 1-2 count. 2 out, 3 on. Pitch on the way. Inside. Ball 2. 2-2.
Lots of 2s.
Okay, so I'm going to go through that 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, 3 on. Top of the second, 4-0 Olympic. And Gordon takes ball 3.
Well, we know now, as soon as the runners are going to be on their go, be taken off quickly.
And Jake Gordon steps back in the batter's box. It's not much of a box anymore now, is it?
No.
Been cleared out here. Here's a pitch on the way. Swing and a line drive. That is a foul ball. Just foul on the inside of the bag. Coach out there saying, no, it hit in.
It's hard to tell because it's not marked after the third base line.
Yeah, but I think it was on the outside of that bag, though.
Yeah.
I saw the dust kick up. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
So good call there by the umpire.
Yeah, he's on it.
He was. But it's difficult.
I know. I got it, I'm just looking at where the dust was coming from.
That's a good indication. Good.
Yeah. When you sit back here, you learn all the tricks of where the ball's going.
Yeah.
So the count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 3 on, 2 in. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that's a ground ball chopper. Gloved there by Stanley. He'll throw it over to first, and that will end the inning, but the damage was done. The Trojans lead 4-0 heading to the bottom of the second. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
An important safety reminder from Mason PUD3. Please never touch a downed power line. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay inside and call 911. Tell others to stay back, wait for emergency personnel. Never touch anyone or anything in contact with a downed power line. Always stay at least 100 feet away. Never use an object to move a downed wire. Don't remove trees or limbs near a downed line. Electricity travels through ground, trees, branches, and more. It's not safe. If you see a downed line, call PUD3 at 360-426-8255.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job. It's our promise.
Bottom of the second, 4-0.
Yeah, Olympic had 2 runs. There was only 1 hit, a single. There was no errors, but there were 3 people left on base. There were 3 walks and 1 hit batter.
All right, so we move to the bottom of the frame. Bulldogs got some work to do here.
They sure do. But, you know, the nice thing is Boston Stanley made a nice play there to get that 3rd out. Because, like I said, it could have broke that game open if that had been a single.
So Kingston Sabrakov will lead things off for North Mason here.
And he's the first baseman,
Yeah.
number 25.
First pitch to him is a strike on the outside corner. Kingston was 0 for 3.
Yeah, we've seen Kingston come in relief sometimes.
Yeah. So 0-1 to Sabrakov. Pitch on the way outside. Curveball. Drops in. Ball. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leadoff batter Kingston Sabrakov. 1-1. Here's the pitch from Benninger. Swing and a ground ball. That's going to go foul. Just foul up the third baseline. So 1-2.
I thought Dana Jones did a pretty good job of coming in and stopping the bleeding.
Yeah. Just thinking that, Jerry. You're in my head again. Get out of my head.
Okay.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Sabrakov. Pitch on the way. That's going to be high. Ball 2, 2-2.
He's making me laugh.
That's my job, right? Yeah, it's pretty easy to make, you just watch me and it's funny. Here's a pitch on the way, 2-2. There's a little bloop that's going to drop into right field for a base hit. Sabrakov on first base.
Yeah.
I think it's a bloop because he just kind of stuck his bat there and made contact.
Yeah. And now up is number 27, Chris Arbogast. And he's the third baseman, number 27.
Actually, he's not. I would imagine he's going to move to. No, this is number 5, Jerry. That's Caden Atencio.
Okay.
He's in there.
All right.
He's playing center field. He was 1 for 2 for a walk. Takes strike 1 on the inside.
Thanks for correcting me. I see that.
Yeah, I have a better view of the back on the batters when they're over here, Jerry.
Thank you. That's a good excuse for me.
Oh, you're just going by the order on the page.
I was, yeah.
Pitch on the way, and it's a fly ball. That is in foul territory, and reaching up and grabbing it is going to be Nino Wells, and that's out number 1 for North Mason. And here's Skylar McLean.
Yeah, and Skylar is one of the 4 seniors that we're recognizing, and he's the right fielder, number 7 in the batting order.
And he was 0 for 1, scored a run against Bainbridge last week. Takes strike 1. Got a nice chat with his stepdad.
Did you? Yeah.
Well, we both did, Jerry. You were right here.
Well, that's right. Okay.
Jason Winans comes up here. Throw over to first, and Sabrakov dives back safely.
I just didn't associate the name.
Yeah, well, you didn't know. I think I've told you that.
But I know now.
Yeah, now you know. He's his stepson. And Jason Winans is actually Cam Winans' father. Next pitch is high, ball 1. And 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's always neat to see the parents out here watching their player, their son or daughter. You know, it's just great.
Very interesting household when you have 1 playing for Shelton, 1 playing for North Mason.
Yeah.
Here's pitch on the way. It's going to be outside for ball 2, so 2-1 the count to McLean.
And Skylar played basketball? You did, didn't you?
I believe so, yeah.
You did, yeah.
I do believe. Kingston Sabrakoff at first base. He'll take a lead over there. 1 out, 1 on for the Bulldogs. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Outside, ball 3. So 3-1 to McLean. And it's also tough when you're a parent when you have kids playing
in 2
different locations.
Yeah.
Same time. Pitch on the way. Strike 2 called, and McLean gets the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And he's probably trying to just make it equal, so he's not. He has to go into both teams, both sons' games.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's keeping it hopping.
Yeah, happy wife, happy life, as they say. Pitch on the way. Swing and another bloop into right field's going to drop in, base hit. And Sabrakoff holds up at second base, and so McLean's on first, Sabrakoff on second. So
we call those bloopers, right?
I'm going to call it a bloop because it's kind of just a
yeah, it
swing.
blooped.
It blooped over there at a base hit.
Okay, and now up is number 20, your left fielder, Carson Morris.
I actually have no information on Carson.
Uh-huh.
We have not seen him play, I don't think, this season. We personally, and I didn't go deep into the archives.
Right.
First pitch to Morris is a swing and a miss for strike 1. You
got it right here, bud. You got it right here.
So 2 on, 1 out for the Bulldogs. Bottom of the 2nd inning, 4-0 Olympic. North Mason at bat. Pitch on the way. Swing and a ground ball over to first base. Looks at third. Does Andrew Payne, and he'll run over to the bag and tag it, and that's out number 2. And on the play, Sabrakoff ends up on third, McLean at second, and 2 out.
And now up. Let's check the number.
Yeah, better.
Yep, number 17, the second baseman, Josiah Ringstad.
He was 0 for 1 against Bainbridge last week. So 2 runners in scoring position, 2 out for the Bulldogs. McLean at second, Sabrakoff at third. Pitch on the way to Ringstad, inside corner for a strike 1 called. Wow. Just painting the inside and the outside now. Is a Benninger. Next pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Nice play out there by the shortstop. He'll just lob it over to first to end the inning. And a nice play there by Blake Parker. And that will be that'll be it for the Bulldogs. We head to the 3rd, 4-0 Olympic. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Neighbors help each other. It's how community works, and it's how we do business at Hood Canal Communications. We know you count on us for value-priced internet, TV, and phone service, backed by friendly local support. Your hard-earned dollars stay right here as we invest in our community, our people, and smart technology. Hood Canal Communications, keeping our community connected while being a good neighbor.
Mason County is a very special place. When you're looking for sound real estate advice, pick the team that has called Mason County home for 5 generations. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate is always thrilled to help you buy or sell real estate in our area. Whether it is Hood Canal, Harstein Island, Matlock, Tahuya, South Puget Sound, or Shelton, the Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate has the experience you can trust. Remember, when it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge.
Third inning, Jerry.
Yeah, and North Mason in the bottom of the 2nd had no runs on 2 hits, no errors committed by Olympic, and there was 2 left on base, and there was no walks. And now leading off for the Trojans will be number 21, and that is Drew Walters. And he is 0 for 1, flew out to the second baseman back in the first.
All right. Danner Jones still into his warm-ups right now.
Is that better on talking to you?
Oh, yeah, you're great.
Okay.
I don't tell him this very often, but Jerry, you're great.
Yeah. I can't hear. What is
it? Oh, here's another question that you'll get if you see Randy Netherland every once in a while.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever told you you're great today? You're awesome? Yeah, anyways.
I'm a cheerleader when I was a teacher. I always praise kids.
Walters steps in to lead things off for Olympic, leading 4-0. Here's the first pitch from Jones. That's going to be high, ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Lead-off batter for Olympic. They're up 4-0 here in the top of the third. Next pitch on the way. That's going to be, that looked good to me, but nope, just a bit low. Ball 2. 2-0. So here comes the next pitch on the way from Danner Jones. Strike.
Oh,
there you
nice
go.
pitch right on that corner. Wow.
Yeah. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Well, work. There you go. 2-1 to the leadoff batter. Pitch on the way. Just a bit low for ball number 3. Walters steps out of the box. And he'll step back in, adjusting that grip. Here's 3-1. Swing and a miss. Halfway through that swing, I think Walters just realized he was not going to make contact. Held up.
Can I have that one back?
Sometimes you feel that way. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Walters. Pitch on the way, ground ball. Going to be gloved over there by Ringstad. He bobbled it, can't get it up. Picked it up a little late, and there is leadoff, a single. I don't know if you're going to call that a single or an error.
I have to give it an error.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I like what you do. You're very positive. I appreciate you.
Jerry's a purist. I'm just calling the action as I see it.
And now up is number 7, the second baseman, Kobe Andrews. And Kobe scored the 3rd run and got on by way of a walk.
So 1 on, nobody out. Pitch on the way. Shows bunt, pulls it back, takes strike 1. So Andrews will step back in. Throw over to first. And Walters is diving back into the dirt safely. Kicking up a little dust. Just hope it doesn't get so bad out there dust-wise we can't see what's happening on the field. Here's next pitch on the way. Swing, and that's going to be a foul ball up the first base line. Just foul. So 0-2. Well, that's to Andrews, Colby Andrews. And again, Drew Walters is at first base. Walters takes a lead over there at first. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, and that's out number 1. So 1 away for Olympic, 1 on.
And now up is number 4, and this is the left fielder, Gavin Wells, and he scored the 4th run for Olympic, and he got on by way of a walk back in the second.
Here's first pitch to Wells, and ball gets away from Rice on the play. But Walters heads to second base.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, I was just looking down at something, not paying attention. So Gavin Wells will step back in. Pitch on the way. Strike 1 called. 1-1. Nino is on deck. Nino Wells is on deck.
Yeah, Dana Jones has already thrown 3 strikeouts.
Here's pitch on the way. Inside. In high, ball 2, 2-1. To Gavin Wells. Drew Walters at second base. 1 out, 1 on. Top of the third, pitch on the way. Strike right there on the outside corner, Jerry.
That was a nice pitch.
Yeah.
That was a nice pitch.
Right at the knees. 2-2 the count. To Gavin Wells. Jones shook off the sign. Looks back at second base. Going to step off and get Walters back to the bag. Walters again takes a lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Gavin Wells. Throw in there for ball 3. So 3-2. Full count. And a dust cloud goes from second base across right field, Jerry. Walters takes his lead again. Here's a pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, and that's out number 2 as Gavin Wells goes down swinging.
And now up is number 9, Wells, the third baseman. He got on by way of a single, had 2 RBIs back in the second.
This is Nino Wells.
Yeah, Nino Wells. We'll go with Nino.
Nino's on. There he's at Pat. Pitch on the way. That's going to be low, ball 1. I'll remind you that Drew Walters at second base for Olympic. 2 out, 1 on. Runner in scoring position. Top of the order on deck should Nino Wells reach. Here's a pitch on the way. He swung and they hit that one almost at one of the coaches standing in the doorway at the dugout. Nice reaction there. I'd do the same if it were me.
Yeah, Cooper Burdick was also
doing a little dance.
He'll do a little dance there.
Make a little noise. Slide in to second base. I don't know. We'll go here. Pitch all the way. Check swing. Strike 2 is called, however. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You do not want to hear a sing or see a stance. So
he's trying to strike out the side.
He is. Tanner Jones with a 1-2 count to Nino Wells. Pitch on the way. Ground ball. Gonna hop over there. Ringstad with the backhand. Gonna scoop it up. Throw it over to first. A little slow on the throw, but on the play, rounding third and coming in to score is going to be Drew Walters.
I'm going to be positive. I'm going to give that a single, and Walters scores.
But not an RBI, I don't believe, because he came in on that throw rather than on the hit.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to say.
All right.
But that's up to you, Jerry. Here is Cooper Burdick.
We're flipping sides now.
Yeah, 2 out, 1 on. Runner at first is a check swing. It's going to be ball 1.
And Cooper is 0 for 2. He's the right fielder.
Oh, they're going to say he went on that one, so it's strike 1. I thought he did, but it's not my decision, right? So 0-1 to Burdick. Nino Wells at first base, 1 in, 2 out. Pitch on the way. Strike 2 called. So 1-2 to Cooper Burdick. Again, Nino Wells is over there at first base. He'll take a lead. 2 out, 1 in, 1 on. Pitch on the way. Strike on the outside corner. And that will do it for Olympic, but they do add on. They lead 5-0. We head to the bottom of the third. North Mason coming up on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
There's so many great things about life in Mason County, and Hood Canal Communications is proud to be one more. Headquartered in Union, we offer the speed and reliability your family needs, backed by hometown service and support. Whether you need to just check email or power all those Wi-Fi devices around your home, HCC has the right package for you. Stop by one of our friendly offices, call or visit hcc.net to learn more. Hood Canal Communications, keeping our community connected.
Kids learn by watching adults, so consume cannabis out of sight of young people. And be a Mason County kid's greatest influence. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and the Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
This presentation on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being brought to you by Mason County Public Utility District Number 1, Washington State's first public utility district, proudly serving the Hood Canal in Mason County since 1935.
Bottom of the third.
Yeah, Olympic had one unearned run. There was one error committed, and there was one hit, a single, and that's it.
They did leave one, right?
Yeah, and they left one. Yes, they left one on base. Thank you.
And Boston Stanley, is it leading off, Jerry?
Yes, Boston Stanley is leading off. He is 0 for 1, flew out to the center fielder back in the first.
If we failed to mention it, the Olympic on top 5-0. Pitch on the way, check swing. It's going to be, well, actually, they're going to call it a foul, I believe. Guess he might have made some contact there. So 0-1 to Stanley to lead things off for the Bulldogs here. And they're half of the third, trailing 5-0. Everybody, looks like the outfield's playing a little in, but everybody else is pretty much straight away. That's ball 1, 1-1. I'm just noticing. It's like a little bit in, not a lot.
Yeah, the only one that, like you said, the only one that's in a little bit is the third baseman. I don't think Boston Stanley's going to bunt.
You never know. Pitch on the way. It's going to be strike 2 called. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Boston Stanley. Playing third base now.
Yeah.
5-0 ball game. Bulldogs need some base runners. Pitch on the way. Swinging a fly ball. Left field. That's deep and gone. Home run for Boston Stanley. Points to the skies. He rounds second. Here he comes home. His team's out to congratulate him. It's now 5-1. Boston Stanley leads off the bottom of the third with a solo home run.
Wow. Congratulations to Boston Stanley.
Big old shot there to left.
Well, we know he can hit with power. And now up is number 7, the center fielder, Danner Jones.
Pitcher.
And
he's pitching.
He's now pitching. That is right.
Update
Thank
that
you.
sheet. Jerry, update that sheet. Okay.
I know it. And Danner, the pitcher, had a double and was stranded on third back in the first.
Takes a strike on the inside. 0-1.
And Danner's been pitched fairly well, I think, out there in relief so far.
Yeah. So 0-1 to Jones, 1 in. There's a pop fly. That's going to be foul on the run. Try to get to it. Can't get to it. It's going to be the catcher,
hustle,
Gordon.
especially by the catcher. Wow.
Yeah, Jake Gordon just couldn't. He has to worry about that dugout. So 0-2 to Danner Jones now. Nobody out. 1 in for the Bulldogs. It's 5-1 now.
Off that nice blast by Boston Stanley.
Here's the 0-2 to Danner Jones. Low and away. For ball 1. 1 ball. 2 strikes to Jones.
And this could wake up the bats for North Mason.
Here's the 1-2 from Benninger. He's been pretty efficient here. We'll check his pitch count after this pitch outside for ball 2. And Chase is thrown 32 pitches.
Okay, not too bad.
It's been pretty efficient today. Here's the 2-2 from Chase Benninger. Jones swings and pops another one up. That's out of play over the first base dugout. The count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, one of the things is he hasn't thrown any walks yet.
That has a big impact on
it.
things.
Does.
Yeah.
And he's had 3 hits off, or 4 hits now with Boston Stanley's home run off of him. But, yeah, no walks.
Here's the 2-2 to Jones. Swing and a fly ball center field. Going to drop in, base hit. Jones is on first base.
Well, like I said, maybe the bats are starting to roll here. And now up is your third hitter in this inning. The catcher, number 30, Calvin Rice. And Calvin flew out to the right fielder back in the first.
So Danner Jones is at first base. Nobody out, 1 in for the Bulldogs here at the bottom of the third inning, trailing 4-1. Rice takes first pitch. Runner goes, swings in, pops it foul out of play.
Yeah, 5-1.
Is that what I said? Did I say something wrong, Jerry? I don't even know what I said.
4-1.
Huh?
You said 4-1.
Oh, did I say 4-1? Okay, well, I said 5-1.
You know what?
Yeah,
90% of the time it's the other way. He corrects me.
So we're going to have a courtesy runner for Jones coming in to run. It'll be Jansen Beal. He'll be at first base.
And I believe he's the son of the coach, Rick Beal. Just makes sense.
So Jansen Beal's on first base. Nobody out, 1 in for the Bulldogs here. 5-1, bottom of the third. Calvin Rice waiting for his 0-2 throw over to first, and Beal dives back, gets his jersey dirty. Got to get it dirty. That's what you got to. That's why you're out there, to get your jersey dirty.
That's right.
So Beal will take a run over there, or take a lead over there, I should say. And Benninger looks in for the sign, goes to the plate. They're swinging a fly ball. That is going to be over our heads, out of play. So 0-2 to Calvin Rice. 1 on, 1 in, nobody out for the Bulldogs here. Bottom of the third, trying to claw their way back in this ball game. Here's pitch on the way to Rice. High. Ball 1-2. Jake Gordon doing a good job keeping the runner at first base over there. That's Jansen Beal. He'll take a lead again. Not as big of a lead this time. Pitch on the way. Swing and another foul off by Calvin Rice. The count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs, 1 on, 1 in.
Hey, Calvin's making the pitcher work. Yeah. How they doing there?
Yeah, it's gone up 38 pitches now.
That's
still pretty decent here.
Not bad, not bad.
For third inning. Beal takes his lead over there at first base again. Here's the 1-2 again to Rice. He'll swing and foul yet another one off. Wow.
I should have kept track of how many
foul offs. Wow.
How many fouls or how many swings? Yeah. Wow.
No, it comes down as a pitch, so we're gonna know. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, 1 on, 1 in. Pitch on the way, swinging another foul off. That one's a chopper that goes over everybody's head, out of play behind everybody. And the count remains 1-2.
Well, North Mason's trying for a big inning.
Got Jansen Beal at first base. And Rice steps back in with a 1-2. He's been stuck on one ball and 2 strikes for quite a while. Here's pitch on the way. There's a ground ball. It's going to be off by the third baseman into left field. And Rice is no throw on first base. So runners at first and second for North Mason here.
Yeah, and that was an error on the third baseman.
Yeah, that was Nino Wells. Just again, it took kind of a funny hop.
It did. It did go unexpectedly a little high. That is correct.
So
it'll be interesting to see how they rule that. But yeah.
We have a courtesy runner for Rice. It'll be Dylan Prudhoe over at first base.
Okay.
So Beal's at second and Prudhoe is at first.
And now up is your third shortstop, number 13, Reed Shoemaker. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the shortstop.
First pitch, he popped it up. Center field, shallow. It's going to drop in, base hit. And the Bulldogs have the bases loaded.
Another blooper. They all count.
They all count. So the bases are now loaded for the Bulldogs. And here's Kingston Sabraikov.
Well, Kingston, you've got an opportunity.
It's a 5-1 ball game here. Nobody out.
Yeah, Kingston is 1 for 1, has a single. Wound up on third base back in the second.
So Benninger looks in for the sign. He's got runners at all 3 bases. Here's first pitch to Sabraikov. Kingston swings, ground ball, goes over there to the second baseman. He'll glove it, throw it in. Run does come in to score as Beal comes in, makes it to 5-2 with 1 out. And we still have runners in scoring position. It's a second and third with 1 away. And here's Caden Atencio. So 1 out, 2 in They did count that, right?
Yes, they did.
Okay, they finally put it on the board.
They did.
First pitch to Atencio is outside and away for ball 1.
Yeah, Atencio flew out to the third baseman back in the second.
So runners at second and third. Shoemaker's at second. Rice, well, it's not Rice. It's a swing and a miss by Atencio. It's Prideaux at third. So 1-1 to count to Atencio. Here's pitch on the way. Swing and a miss by Atencio. 1-2 is the count. Prideaux at third. Shoemaker at second. 1 out, 2 in. Caden Atencio with a 1-2 count. Waits for the next offering from Chase Benninger. Takes his time. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. And that is going to be out number 2 for the Bulldogs here. Is it Skylar McLean?
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to keep track here.
Yeah, Skylar McLean, and he is 1 for 1, has a single, Diedrich.
Swings and pops the first pitch foul out of play. So it's 0-1. To McLean. Again, Prideaux at third, Shoemaker at second. 2 out, 2 in, 2 on. And McLean is the batter. Next pitch on the way. It's going to be a strike. 2 called. Wow. McLean didn't like that call. Step back in with an 0-2. 2 out, 2 on, 2 in for the Bulldogs here. 5-2 ball game. Here's a pitch on the way. Swing and a foul ball at the third baseline. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
And the umpires doing a pretty good job of letting us know the balls and strikes, and appreciate that.
2 on, 2 in, 2 out. 0-2 is the count to number 3. Skylar McLean. Here's a pitch on the way. Swing, and that's another foul ball. That's out of play. The first baseline, and the count remains 0-2. Shoemaker at second base. He was practically to third base on that hit. Takes a big lead out there at second.
Yeah, he is.
Prideaux at third, takes a lead there. Swing and a miss by McLean. And that'll do it for the Bulldogs here in their half of the third. They get 2. We head to the fourth. 5-2 is our score. Olympic with the lead. And coming up, it's Mason Webb TV, powered by HCC.
Hi folks, Diedrich Allen with Mason Web TV powered by HCC, your source for live high school sports with play-by-play. Once again, Mason Web TV is broadcasting select games every week this school year. Football, basketball, baseball, softball. We bring you all the action from the kickoff to the final whistle, from the tip-off to the final buzzer, from the first pitch to the last out. Watch how it happens on Mason Web TV powered by HCC. Business owners, you can get in on the action as well. Go online, email, call, or text right now to find out how.
What is gig speed internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you that it's marathoning movies on your favorite streaming service with no interruptions, or having the grandkids over and not hearing a single complaint about your Wi-Fi. In other words, it's just what you needed. Switch to gig speed internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
And we head to the fourth inning. 5-2 is their score.
Yeah, and North Mason in the bottom of the third had 2 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error committed by Olympic, 2 left on base, and there was no walks. And leading off for Olympic will be Blake Parker. Blake is the shortstop, number 8, and he is 1 for 1. Had a single back in the first and scored the run, and then he got on by way of a walk in the second inning and then advanced to second on a wild pitch.
So we'll step in, wait for the first pitch from Danner Jones. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. For strike one. And Parker will come wait for the next offering. It's got a little bit of a tip of that one, but it's strike two, just a little contact. So here's the 0-2 to Parker. Strike three called. That's out number one for Olympic here in the fourth.
All right, he's throwing a lot of strikeouts. And now up is the pitcher, number 34, Chase Benninger. And Chase is 1 for 2, excuse me. 1 for 2, had a double, an RBI in the first, and struck out in the second.
So 1 out, nobody on for the Trojans. First pitch to Benninger, swings. Oh, boy, that kind of took a weird little hop off a couple of helmets there. That's why we wear the helmets.
Yeah.
Went off of Rice's helmet, went off of the face mask of the home plate umpire. So Benninger will step back in, wait for the 0-1 from Jones. Here it comes. Swing, and he pops that one up. Is it playable? Rice getting under it, getting to the fence, and reaches back, and he dropped it. He couldn't get to it. And that's strike number 2. Nice try by
it was a nice
Calvin
try.
Rice.
It's nice he got that mask off right away and was looking for it.
Being very aware of the fence.
I'm sure that fence had was a deterrent.
So Chase Benninger back in the batter's box with an 0-2 count, 1 out, nobody on for the Trojans, leading at 5-2 here in the top of the fourth. Here's a pitch on the way, swing and a fly ball. That's hooking foul into the walkway off the first base line in the outfield. This count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Chase is a big kid. He's got some power.
Yeah, well, we've seen it. See if we can straighten it out here. Here's the next pitch on the way. Swing and a fly ball. That looks like it's going to drop into center left for a base hit for Chase Benninger.
Yeah, he hit that hard.
Just not hard enough, but he did get on base.
Yeah, now up is number 6, Antonio Castorina, the designated hitter. And he is 0 for 1. Flew out to the pitcher in the first inning and was hit by a pitch in the second.
Here comes a courtesy runner for Benninger, and it's going to be Brown again.
Yeah, give him a little rest. He's going to get him back on the mound here in a while.
So Brown's over there at first base. 1 out, 1 on. First pitch in there for a ball.
Excuse me.
That's the Castorina.
Apologize.
So 1 ball, no strikes to Castorina. 1 on, 1 out. Pitch on the way. That's going to be low ball. Sorry. Ball 2. Again, I'm updating I'm hitting the wrong buttons again on my little.
Thanks for bringing the water. I appreciate that.
I'm glad, Jerry. Had to stop and get that before I came and pick you up. Here's the next pitch on the way. Swing and a miss by Castorina for strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Castorina. Again, Brown is at first base. Takes a lead over there for the Trojans. 1 out for Olympic. They're leading 5-2. Throw over to first, and Brown gets his jersey dirty.
And Castorina is the 3rd hitter this inning for the Olympic Trojans.
Here's next pitch on the way. Shows bunt, missed it. And that's going to be strike 2. So 2-2 the count to Castorina. One out, 1 on for Olympic. Top of the 4th. Here's the pitch on the way. Swinging, that one's fouled over our heads. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on. Brown at to first base for Olympic. Batter is Antonio Castorina. Count is even at 2-2. Pitch on the way, swing, another foul off. Rice has got it. He's reaches back and he grabs it for the out on the foul ball. So 2 away for Olympic.
And now up is number 13, the catcher, Jake Gordon. And Jake is 0 for 1, had a walk back in the first, grounded out to the third baseman in the second.
So 2 down, 1 on for Olympic here. And Gordon will step in. Brown takes the lead at first base. Here's the pitch on the way. Strike 1 called. Ball came in so fast it popped out of Rice's glove there, Jerry. It's 0-1 to Gordon. Pitch on the way, inside. Ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, 1 on for Olympic here. Top of the 4th.
Yeah, Dana Jones throwing 5 strikeouts so far.
Here's the next pitch on the way. Just a bit too low for ball 2, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, 1 on. Brown the runner over at first base. Jake Gordon is the batter for Olympic. Here's the pitch on the way. It's going to be ball. That popped out of the glove of Rice, and so Brown's going to head to second base. That's ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, 1 on. Brown at second base now. Jake Gordon will step back in. Nope, he's going to step out for a 3-1 count from Danner Jones. Brown takes the lead. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for strike 2. So the count is now full for Jake Gordon.
And Chase Benning, the runner for Chase Benning, Brown, will be on the run right now.
Just takes his lead at second base. Here's the pitch on the way. That's going to be low, and Gordon heads to first base. So runners at first and second with 2 out.
And now up is number 21, Drew Walters, the center fielder. And Drew is 0 for 2, but did score a run back in the third.
Here's the pitch on the way. Strike 1 called. Yeah, to Gordon at first, Brown at second. The batter is Walters with an 0-1. Here's a pitch on the way. Pops it up. That's playable. Ringstad underneath it, grabs it, and that'll do it for the Trojans here in their half of the 4th. We head to the bottom of the frame. Olympic 5-2. North Mason coming up on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it. It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
With all the question marks and uncertainty that surrounds today's real estate market, it is nice to know that there is a local team that has the experience with all types of markets to ensure you make a sound decision, whether selling or buying. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate has been a staple in the Mason County community for over 40 years. Feel free to reach out to Jeff, Andy, Chrissy, or Laura with any real estate questions that you may have. When it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge.
And we're in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, Olympic had no runs on 1 hit. There was no errors, 2 left on base, and it was 1 walk. Now up is number 20, the left fielder, Carson Morse.
All right, I think we have some changes here for the...
yeah, so it should check on that, yeah.
Well, I'm talking about defensively for the
okay.
Trojans. I'll try to track it down here.
While you're doing that, Carson Morris is 0 for 1, lined out to the first baseman back in the second.
So Jackson Brown is over at first base for the Trojans.
All right.
I think everything else is about the same.
Okay, number 20 stepping in, and that's Carson Morris.
First pitch to him, inside corner, strike one called.
Boy, he's hugging that home plate a little bit. Oh, nice up spin.
It's hard to see because the chalk block is gone. Here's the next pitch on the way. Ground ball, chopper. Going to go to second baseman. Picks it up, throws it over. Nice play there.
Yes.
By Colby Andrews to Brown, and that's out number 1. Make sure that's right. Yeah, it's Colby. So 1 away.
And now up is number 1. So we have a change here.
Pauly Kelly Forey. And Pauly versus Bainbridge on the 29th, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Okay.
So Kelly Forey is in there. 1 out, nobody on. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss by Pauly.
I always like it when you do the phonetic
well, I'm only assuming that's proper, but that's how I see it. Kelly Forey. Here's the next pitch. Another swing and a miss. 0-2 to Kelly Forey. 1 out, nobody on for the Bulldogs here. Bottom of the 4th, trailing 5-2 to Olympic. Top of the order on deck. Here's the 0-2 to Kelly Forey. Outside ball 1. 1-2. Here's a 1-2. Outside ball 2. So the count is even at 2-2 to Pauly Kelly Forey. He steps back in and digs himself a good grip. Count is even at 2-2. 1 out, nobody on for North Mason. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And that's out number 2 for the Bulldogs.
And now your leadoff hitter, Boston Stanley, who's now playing third base. Boston is 1 for 2 and had a nice home run there back in the 3rd inning. So 1 for 2, flew out to the center fielder in the 1st. So
he got the first of the 2 runs, did Boston Stanley.
Yeah, he did.
2 out, nobody on for the 3rd baseman, senior. Waiting for the first pitch for Benninger. Fastball swing and a pop fly center field deep again, but it's going to actually drift and not getting to it is Burdick. So Stanley's going to motor his way over to second base, slides in safely as the throw was a little off. So there's a 2-out double.
I'm going to give it a double.
Yeah.
He had to run a ways for that. So, yeah, I definitely want to give him a double on that.
Yeah.
And now up is number 7, the center fielder. Oh, now the pitcher. Excuse me. Thank you. I knew you were going to correct me.
See my hand signal here, Jerry.
Danner Jones, who's pitching pretty good out there for North Mason. And he is 2 for 2.
Okay.
Wow, double and a single and scored a run. Second run.
First pitch to Jones is inside and high for ball 1. So 1-0, Boston Stanley at the second base, 2 out for the Bulldogs here. Bottom of the 4th, trailing at 5-2. Here's a pitch on the way, swing and a miss by Jones. 1-1. Stanley takes his lead out there at second base. 2 out, 1 on for North Mason here. Danner Jones, the batter, pitch on the way, swing and pops that one out of play. Waiting for it to come down. I didn't hear it come down, Jerry. So,
yeah, it went past the berm there.
Okay, over up in the berm, all right. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Danner Jones. 2 out, 1 on. Boston Stanley is out there at second base. He's going to go. Swing and a miss. And that will be that for the Bulldogs here in their half of the fourth. We head to the fifth. Olympic with a 5-2 lead. And the Trojans are coming up on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Kids can't tell when food or drinks include cannabis, especially when the package is fun and colorful. Remember to store in a safe place, out of sight and out of reach. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
If you're enjoying this broadcast, please give us a like on your favorite social media. You can use the handle @MasonWebTV to find us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Subscribe and follow Mason Web TV so you never miss anything.
Neighbors help each other. It's how community works, and it's how we do business at Hood Canal Communications. We know you count on us for value-priced internet, TV, and phone service, backed by friendly local support. Your hard-earned dollars stay right here as we invest in our community, our people, and smart technology. Hood Canal Communications, keeping our community connected while being a good neighbor.
And we head to the fifth inning of play. 5-2 is our score. Olympic with the lead, and coming up are the Trojans.
Is the second baseman, number 7, Kobe Andrews. And Kobe is 0 for 1. Walked back in the second, scored a run, and then struck out in the third. So this is his third time up.
So Danner Jones into his final warm-up pitch, and here we go with the fifth inning. To remind everybody how critical this game is for both teams, these North Mason, Olympic, and Sequim are all tied for fourth place in the Olympic League standings. So it's really critical to, jockey for better position, and one of those three teams will be out at the end of the season. Here's the first pitch to Andrews. Is low in the dirt for ball one.
Yeah, Kobe scored the third run for Olympic.
So here's the 1-0 to Andrews. Just still a bit low for ball two. So 2 balls and no strikes to Kobe Andrews to lead things off for Olympic here in the fifth. 5-2 is our score. The next pitch, and that's going to be a swing and a foul. Just a little bit of contact there. Strike one, 2-1. These two teams will play again tomorrow to wrap up the regular season. Here's the next pitch on the way. High, ball 3, 3 balls, 1 strike. And that game will be at the Kitsap County Fairgrounds.
It'll be interesting to see who North Mason throws tomorrow night. Who's the pitcher?
Pitch on the way, and that'll be a leadoff walk as Andrews heads over to first base on the fourth ball.
And now up is number 4, the left fielder, Gavin Wells. And Gavin is 0 for 1, has a walk, scored the 4th run, and is also struck out.
All right, 1 on. Nobody out. And Gavin Wells will step in. Colby Andrews is at first base. He'll take a lead over there. Here's a pitch on the way. Inside, just a little too far inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Gavin Wells. Andrews takes the lead from first. Here's a pitch on the way. Going to be low for ball 2. Danner Jones trying to find the right location for these pitches. So 2 balls, no strikes. 1 on, nobody out. There's a pitch on the way. There's a strike. There's that location he's been looking for. 2-1. Just getting it up a tad bit. Gavin Wells waits for the 2-1. Swing and a miss. That it's going to get away from Rice. So Andrews is going to head to second base on that. I don't know what you're going to call that, Jerry. Is that going to be a Pass ball or?
That would be definitely a, oh boy, a wild pitch. I would consider it a wild pitch.
Okay.
Because he had to really reach for it.
Here's a swing and a miss by Gavin Wells, and that's out number 1. So 1 away, 1 on for Olympic.
And now up is number 9, Nino Wells, the third baseman. And Nino's having quite a ball game so far. He's 2 for 2, 2 singles, and has 2 RBIs.
Pitch on the way, swing, and that one's fouled. Straight back to Jerry's head. Didn't react. Jerry did not react at all because he knows there's a fence in front of him.
Thank you.
So 0-1 to Nino Jones. Goldie Andrews at second base. He'll take a lead over there. Pitch on the way. Swing and a fly ball. That's going to drop right into the second baseman's hand. It's actually, let's see, who is that? That is not Ringstad. It's Atencio. He'll throw it over to first for the out. There on the play, however, Andrews makes his way to third base. So 2 down.
And now up is Cooper Burdick, who is 0 for 3.
So 2 out, 1 on, runner at third base. First pitch to Burdick, a little bit high for ball 1. Andrews over there at third base. Waits for the next pitch, does Burdick. It's going to be low in the dirt. So 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out, 1 on. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss by Burdick for strike 1. So 2-1. Again, Andrews over there at third base. Just kind of hanging out just inside the grass. Pitch on the way, swing and a ground ball. That's going to be gloved there by Atencio. Throw to first, did not get it. The run came in to score, and Burdick is going to head to second base as the ball came all the way near to our position here, and Rice ends up with it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an error. I don't have a choice, I guess. I don't know.
It does make it 6-2.
Yeah. And now up is number 8, Blake Parker. And Blake is 1 for 2, has a single, has a walk, and is struck out. So he is 1 for 2.
So 2 out, 1 in. And there's first pitch in there for ball 1 to Parker. Cooper Burdick over there at second base for the Trojans. Here's pitch on the way. That looked good, but not the location. That's ball 2. It might have been just a bit high. So 2 balls, no strikes to Parker. Burdick at second base, 2 out, 1 in. Pitch on the way, that's going to be a ball, and that ricocheted off the mask of Rice. So Burdick makes his way over to third base now.
Pass ball.
You call it a bad pass ball? Okay. I'll go with it. Still
What's
2.
that?
I'll go with it, too.
Okay, thanks.
3 balls, no strikes to Parker. Burdick at third base now. Pitch on the way. There's a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Calvin Rice has had to really work hard back there with all the pitches thrown.
So 1 in, 1 on, 2 out for Olympic. Pitch on the way. That is going to be strike 2. And Parker thought that was going to be ball 4. It was headed over to first base, but the umpire said, no, that's a strike.
Yeah, hit the inside corner.
Here's the 3 balls and 2 strike pitch. 2 out, 1 on, 1 in. Pitch, and that one's going to be flied out or popped out foul over our heads. And the count remains full with 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Cooper Burdick over there at third.
Here's pitch on the way. That's going to be ball 4. So the Trojans have runners at the corners, so first and third now.
And now up is your pitcher, Chase Benninger. And Chase is 2 for 3, has a double, has a single, has an RBI, and has scored a run.
So a little meeting at the mounds. We have a timeout here. As they're going to, well, it looks like Tanner Jones' afternoon on the mound is done. So who's going to come in now? As take a look here. I think it might be Paulie Califori. Could be wrong there. Can't see the number right now. Nope, it's actually going to be Dylan Prudhoe. He'll take over on the mound for Jones, and Jones will take Prudhoe's spot over there in left field. So we'll take a quick timeout. Be right back. 6-2. Olympic with the lead, and they'll be facing a new pitcher with runners at the corners. We come back on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
An important safety reminder from Mason PUD3. Please never touch a downed power line. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay inside and call 911. Tell others to stay back. Wait for emergency personnel. Never touch anyone or anything in contact with a downed power line. Always stay at least 100 feet away. Never use an object to move a downed wire. Don't remove trees or limbs near a downed line. Electricity travels through ground, trees, branches, and more. It's not safe. If you see a downed line, call PUD3 at 360-426-8255.
What is fiber internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you it's just internet. Internet that can do whatever you need. Crystal clear video chats with the family, smooth streaming of your favorite shows, uploading a ton of vacation photos in an instant. Even all of the above, all at once. Switch to fiber internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months of gig speed service. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
And the new pitcher for the Bulldogs is Dylan Prudhoe. He'll take over. 2 out, 1 in, and runners at first and third. And Prudhoe pitched against Bainbridge on April 29th. He went 4 innings, 4 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and he faced 14 batters.
And Chase Benninger will step back in for the Trojans, and he's having quite an evening hitting-wise.
So again, you got Burdick at third, and it's Parker at first.
And he has quite an opportunity here to help his cause.
Right, his team up by 4 runs right now. We're in the top of the 5th inning, and Benninger adjusts his glove. Home plate umpire says, let's go. Claps those hands. Let's go, guys. Let's get this thing going. So the first pitch to Chase Benninger is on the way from Dylan Prudhoe. Here it comes. Curveball drops in there for strike 1.
Nice pitch. Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Here's the next pitch on the way. Just a bit up. It's upstairs. So 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Benninger from Prudhoe. High, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 out, 2 on, 1 in.
And Benninger already has 1 RBI.
He'll step back in, wait for the next offering from Prudhoe. Again, runners at the corners, pitch on the way. That's going to be outside.
That was a nice stop by Calvin Rice. Yeah. Good job.
Went behind.
Yeah.
Benninger's back. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Runners at first and third. 2 out, 1 in. Burdick is at third. Parker is at first. Pitch on the way outside, and that'll load the bases.
Yeah, 2 walks in a row. And now up is number 6, the cleanup hitter, and designated hitter Antonio Castorina, and he is 0 for 2.
So the bases are loaded. Burdick is at third. Parker is at second, and courtesy runner in Brown is at first. And the batter is Castorina. First pitch to him is coming from Prideaux. High on that fastball.
What's interesting, this is the 5th inning, and this is the 4th time Antonio Castorina's been up.
So here's the 0-1 from Prideaux. Ooh, 2-0. I'm sorry, did I say 0-1? I said 2 balls and no strikes. To Castorina. Bases are loaded, 2 out, 1 in. For Olympic, they're leading 6-2 in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch on the way. Another high ball. Ball 3.
Dylan might want to go back to that curveball that he's thrown successfully a couple times.
We'll see as Castorina will step back in, wait for the 3-0. Prideaux takes a big breath. Bases are loaded. 2 out, pitch on the way. High, and that'll walk in a run as Burdick will come in and make it to 7-2. Still, the bases are loaded and 2 out.
And that gives an RBI also for Antonio Castorina on that walk. And now up is number 13, Jake Gordon, the catcher. And Jake is 0 for 1, but he has got on twice by way of a walk.
So Gordon will wait for the first pitch from Dylan Prideaux with the bases loaded, 2 out and 2 in. Pitch on the way. High ball 1. I think, Jerry, you may be right. Let's go back to that little curveball sinker.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had success with that. Yeah. So
here's the 1-0. Fastball, swing and a miss. That did sink a little bit, though.
It was. It was. It was a nice.
It was a little faster. So 1-1 the count. 2 out, 3 on, 2 in for Olympic. They're leading 7-2. Top of the 5th. Here's the next pitch on the way. Outside.
And
Ball
Jake
2.
Gordon has done a nice job also behind the plate as a catcher for Olympic.
So here's the 2-1. It's going to be high. Ball 3.
And as a catcher, I'm sure you've developed a good eye.
Well, you'd think.
You would think, yeah.
So Gordon, 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 out, 3 on, 2 in for the Olympic Trojans here. Top of the 5th. Next pitch on the way. That's going to be high. Gets away. And it's going to be walking in another run.
Yeah, that's Blake Parker that just came in and give Jake Gordon an RBI on that walk.
So it's now 8-2. Here's Drew Walters as we have a timeout. And
just kind of settle him down a little bit, I would think.
Coach is out there to talk to Dylan Prideaux, who has thrown 14 pitches here.
15?
14.
14 pitchers, okay. Thank you.
And leave him in here. See if he can get out of this bases loaded jam.
Yeah, this is important. The center fielder is now up, Drew Walters, and Drew is 0 for 3. Thrown out twice to the second baseman.
So again, 2 out, bases are loaded. 3 runs are in for Olympic here in the 5th. Pitch on the way. Swinging a fly ball over there to left, and going to get it is going to be Jones, and that will end the inning. But the Trojans add on. They lead 8-2, head to the bottom of the 5th. North Mason coming up on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Kids can't tell when food or drinks include cannabis, especially when the package is fun and colorful. Remember to store in a safe place, out of sight and out of reach. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
This broadcast on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being made possible by Mason Health, United Community, Empowered People, Exceptional Health.
An important safety reminder from Mason PUD3. Please never touch a downed power line. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay inside and call 911. Tell others to stay back. Wait for emergency personnel. Never touch anyone or anything in contact with a downed power line. Always stay at least 100 feet away. Never use an object to move a downed wire. Don't remove trees or limbs near a downed line. Electricity travels through ground, trees, branches, and more. It's not safe. If you see a downed line, call PUD3 at 360-426-8255.
Bottom of the fifth inning we go, Jerry.
Yeah, Lippick had 3 runs. There was no hits. There was no errors. There was 3 left on base, but there was 5 walks. And that's been the story of the game, really.
Right.
You know, you can't give up 10 walks and expect it to be ahead.
Yeah, Chase Benninger still in there at pitcher for Olympic.
And they batted around, by the way, in that inning.
Right. So Calvin Rice will lead things off for North Mason here.
Yeah, and Calvin is 0 for 2, flew out to the right fielder. Also, he got on by way of an error in the third.
So leadoff batter for the Bulldogs. First pitch to him. Going to be strike at the knees. Wow. Benninger just still throwing it.
Yeah, he is. He's still throwing the heat.
He's at 66 pitches. Pitch on the way, a swing and a pop-up. That's out of play over our heads. So 0-2 to Calvin Rice. Shoemaker on deck. Here's a pitch on the way. That's going to be bouncer there.
That was a nice stop there by the catcher, Jake Gordon.
Yeah. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter, and Calvin Rice for North Mason here. Bottom of the 5th.
Trying to get something started here.
Yeah.
Get some
8-2.
runners.
Pitch on the way, swing and a fly ball, center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit just over the second base bag. And there is a leadoff single for the Bulldogs. 1 on, nobody out.
And now up is your shortstop, number 23, Reed Shoemaker. And Reed is 1 for 2, had a single back in the third.
So 1 on, nobody out for North Mason. Need to get some base runners out there. They've got one. Calvin Rice is over at first base. First pitch to Shoemaker's a ball and a pass ball, so Rice is going to speed over to second base.
Yeah, definitely a wild pitch there.
So 1 ball, no strikes to Shoemaker. Runner in scoring position in Rice. He'll take a lead at second base. Here's the pitch on the way. High, ball 2. So 2-0 to Shoemaker.
I noticed the shortstop and the second baseman for Olympic are not really trying to hold the runner. 1 second.
Here's a pitch on the way, swinging a fly ball center field. That's deep, but out there getting under it will be Walters. He'll grab it for out number 1, and Rice just holds up there at second. So 1 away for North Mason.
And now up is number 25, Kingston Serabakov. And Kingston is 1 for 2. Had a single back in the second and grounded out to the shortstop in the third.
Sabrikov will step in, I should say. 1 out, 1 on, runner at third, and Calvin Rice. First pitch to Sabrikov, inside and high, ball 1. So 1-0 to Sabrikov. Caden Atencio on deck. Pitch on the way. Just a bit, still a bit high, so ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes to Sabrikov. 1 out, 1 on. Bottom of the 5th. There's pitch on the way. Outside, hit that outside corner for strike one called. So 2-1 the count to Kingston Sabrakov. Again, Calvin Rice is at second base. With one out. Pitch on the way. High. Ball three, so 3-1 the count to is Kingston Sabrakov.
Could be taking here.
Here's the 3-1. And there is a walk for Sabrakov, and he'll head to first base. So runners at first and second for North Mason.
And now up is number 5, and that will be Caden
Atencio.
Atencio. Caden Atencio. And Caden is 0 for 2.
There's a meeting at the mound here for Olympic as Chase Benninger has had a heck of a game on the mound. He might be a little bit tired. Maybe they're just giving him a rest. He's got 77 pitches.
How many? 70?
77.
Okay. Yeah, that's
what he's got. 4 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, and I can't see that. Is that 5 hits? Oh, I just lost that. Somehow I just lost that screen. How many hits does
they have? North Mason has 7 hits so far.
7 hits, okay. First pitch in there to Atencio is a ball.
Excuse me, they have 8.
Okay. All right, so Sabrakov is at first, and Rice is at second, and it's going to be a step off by Benninger. Atencio.
I forgot to include the single by Calvin Rice here in the 5th.
No, that's all right. Here's next pitch on the way. Outside, ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes to Caden Atencio. Again, Kingston Sabrakov at first, Calvin Rice at second for North Mason. 1 out, 2 on. In an 8-2 ball game, bottom of the 5th inning. Pitch on the way, strike call. That's strike 1 to Atencio. So 2-1 the count. Benninger looks back at second. Here's the pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss by Atencio. He evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out for North Mason here in the 5th. Down by 6 runs. Here's a pitch on the way. That's a ball to make it full count. Boy, from my angle, that looked like a good pitch. But again, I'm not on top of the plate. Here's the 3-2 to Caden Atencio. Swing and a miss, and that's out number 2 for North Mason here in the 5th inning. So 2 down and 2 on for the Bulldogs. And this is who, Jerry?
Let's see, number 2.
Oh, that's Dylan.
Oh, no, who's up? Let's see now.
Oh, that would be... throw over to first. They got him. Oh, my goodness. Kingston Sabrakov could not get back, and they tagged him out, and that'll end the inning.
Yeah.
So that will be the Bulldogs' 5th. We head to the 6th, still 8-2.
Yeah, Skylar McLean will lead off next inning.
Hi folks, Diedrich Allen with Mason Web TV powered by HCC, your source for live high school sports with play-by-play. Once again, Mason Web TV is broadcasting select games every week this school year. Football, basketball, baseball, softball. We bring you all the action from the kickoff to the final whistle, from the tip-off to the final buzzer, from the first pitch to the last out. Watch how it happens on Mason Web TV powered by HCC. Business owners, you can get in on the action as well. Go online, email, call, or text right now to find out how. With all the question marks and uncertainty that surrounds today's real estate market, it is nice to know that there is a local team that has the experience with all types of markets to ensure you make a sound decision, whether selling or buying. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate has been a staple in the Mason County community for over 40 years. Feel free to reach out to Jeff, Andy, Chrissy, or Laura with any real estate questions that you may have. When it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge.
So we head to the 6th inning of play. The Olympic Trojans are coming up. The Bulldogs, they left 2 on base in the last half inning. But they're trailing 8-2 as Olympic is coming back to bat. Dylan Prideaux on the mound for North Mason, still in relief. His second pitcher, third pitcher for the Bulldogs.
He's a third pitcher.
Yeah, third
pitcher. Dawson Stanley, Dana Jones, and Dylan Prideaux.
All right.
So yeah, he's a third.
So
what's interesting is the Olympic pitcher, Chase Pennington.
Penninger.
Can't read my writing. Is only had 1 walk. I'm trying to figure out how many strikeouts he's had. Yeah, that's pretty easy.
There is some activity in the bullpen over there for the Trojans. So we'll probably have a new pitcher coming out in the next in the bottom of the 6th, but it's the top of the 6th, and
number 7, the second baseman Kobe Andrews is up, and he has got on base twice by way of walk, scored 2 runs, and struck out back in the 3rd. So he's crossed home plate a couple times.
And he takes ball 1. And the first pitch to him. Leadoff batter for Olympic here in the 6th. Here's the kick and the throw from Prideaux. That's a strike. That was like a pretty pitch there, Jerry.
Yeah.
So 1-1 the count. Jacoby Andrews in an 8-2 ball game here. Top of the 6th. There's the kick and the pitch again. Just a bit high for ball 2. So 2-1 for Andrews. Oh, we got the Wells on deck here, Jerry. Here's the 2-1. Oh, strike. That dropped into the strike zone. 2-2 the count to Andrews. There's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff batter. Strike 3 called. And that's out number 1 for Olympic here in their half of the 6th. Should be Gavin Wells.
Yep. And now up is number 4, the left fielder, Gavin Wells. Gavin is 0 for 2, struck out twice, walked once, and scored a run.
So 1 out, nobody on for Olympic here. And Gavin Wells will step in and wait for the first pitch from Dylan Prideaux. Here it comes. That's a bouncer comes in, ball 1. Kicking up a little bit of dust. So 1 ball, 1 out. Nobody on for Olympic here. Nino Wells on deck. Here's a pitch on the way. That's going to be ball 2. So 2-0 to Gavin Wells. Here is the 2-0 pitch. Ooh, just a bit inside, too far inside for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes to Gavin Wells. We're coming to you from North Mason Baseball Field in Belfair. 8-2 is our score. Pitch on the way, and there's a 1-out walk as Gavin Wells heads to first base.
And now up is number 9, Nino Wells, the third baseman. He is 2 for 3, 2 singles, grounded out to the shortstop back in the 5th, has an RBI.
So Gavin Wells at first base. Nino Wells is going to step in. 1 out, 1 on in an 8-2 ball game, top of the 6th. Dylan Prideaux with the first pitch to Nino Wells, outside and low, ball 1.
Top of the 6th.
I said top of 6, Jerry, yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotta turn my hearing aids up.
Yeah, I think you do.
Sorry about that.
Here's the next pitch on the way. Oh, that's a strike on the inside for strike 1, and Nino thought that would be a ball 2, but it's 1-1. 1 out, 1 on. Top 6, 8-2. That's our score. Olympic looking to add on here. There's pitch on the way. Just a bit high. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Gavin Wells is at first base. Takes his lead over there. Not a big lead. Nino Wells waits for the 2-1. Ooh, just missed. Ball 3, so 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on for Olympic here. Top of the 6th inning. Gavin Wells takes his lead at first base. Here's the pitch to Nino Wells. Strike 2 called, and the count is rolled. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nino. Nino Wells at bat. Gavin Wells at first base, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Nino. Swing, and that one's going to be fouled off. Kind of ricocheted off some bodies. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Like I said, Nino Wells has already got 2 hits in this ball game.
Dylan Prideaux. There's a next pitch on the way. It's going to be high and ball 4. And that'll send Nino to first and Gavin to second.
And your leadoff hitter now is Cooper Burdick. And Cooper is 0 for 4.
Might see another pitching change here as Coach Beal's heading out to the mound with his, looking at his sheet. So he'll.
Serbakov?
No, I think it's going to be.
Okay.
Paulie Califorri. He'll come in from right field to take over. So we'll step aside. We'll be right back. There is 1 out and 2 on. Top of the 6th, 8-2. Olympic on top. New pitcher for the Bulldogs. Coming up on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Kids learn by watching adults, so consume cannabis out of sight of young people. And be a Mason County kid's greatest influence. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
If you're enjoying this broadcast, please give us a like on your favorite social media. You can use the handle @MasonWebTV to find us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Subscribe and follow Mason Web TV so you never miss anything.
An important safety reminder from Mason PUD3. Please never touch a downed power line. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay inside and call 911. Tell others to stay back. Wait for emergency personnel. Never touch anyone or anything in contact with a downed power line. Always stay at least 100 feet away. Never use an object to move a downed wire. Don't remove trees or limbs near a down line. Electricity travels through ground, trees, branches, and more. It's not safe. If you see a down line, call PUD3 at 360-426-8255.
I must correct myself. It is Josiah Ringstad coming in on the mound.
Okay.
Josiah, I just had it there for a minute. He pitched against Bainbridge on the 29th. He won an inning, 2 earned runs and 3 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts, faced 6 batters. So he'll take over here in the top of the 6th with Olympic on top 8-2 with runners at first and second are the Trojans. And who's coming up here, number 8?
Yes, so number 8 will be coming up. And no, it will be number 2.
Oh, it'll be number 2. Okay.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. That's,
Blake Parker's on
right.
deck.
That's right.
So
okay.
Cooper
Burdick.
Is 0 for 4. This is his 5th time up, and this is his 6th inning. One of the things I want to give a shout out to Chase Benninger, 5 strikeouts and 1 walk.
Okay. We're assuming he's not coming back, is it?
Well, yeah, we're assuming. We're not sure.
We're assuming. But the Wells are on. Here's first pitch to Burdick. Takes strike. Throw to third as the runners go. And everybody, that was a nice play by the Trojans as the runners did make their way from, well, it's now second and third now as Nino's on second and Gavin's on third.
Yeah, now you got 2 scoring position. Yeah.
That pitch was a strike to Burdick. Next pitch is inside, I should say. Ball 1. 1-1 the count to Cooper Burdick.
And this is the 4th pitcher for North Mason. This is Josiah Ringstad.
So there's 1 ball, 1 strike. Called ball 2, so 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, 2 on. Runners at second and third for Olympic. You've got Nino Wells on second and Gavin Wells on third. Pitch on the way. There's strike 2 called to Cooper Burdick. So 2-2 with 1 out and 2 on. 8-2 is our score. Top of the 6th. Pardon me, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm thinking ahead to the bottom. We're at the top. Here's a pitch on the way, a swing and a miss. And that is going to be out to number 2 for Olympic.
And now up is number 8, Blake Parker. And Blake is 1 for 2, has a single, has 2 walks, and has struck out. And has scored twice.
So Ringstad with the first pitch to... that's a swing. It's a fly ball in foul territory. A couple guys can't get to it. That's strike 1. So
and on deck will be Chase Benninger.
So Parker back to the batting box. Again, the Wellses. Nino Wells is on second and Gavin Wells is on third. 2 down and 2 on with a 0-1 to Parker. Here's pitch on the way. It's going to be ball 1. 1-1 to count. To Blaine Parker. It's Blaine, right? Here's pitch on the way. Swing, that was popped up. That's playable. Rice gets under it. Nice grab.
Nice catch.
And that will be out number 3. So the Trojans leave a couple out there. We head to the bottom of the 6th. North Mason has some work to do. They're trailing 8-2. We'll be right back.
What is fiber internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you it's just internet. Internet that can do whatever you need. Crystal clear video chats with the family, smooth streaming of your favorite shows, uploading a ton of vacation photos in an instant. Even all of the above, all at once. Switch to fiber internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months of gig speed service. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
Kids can't tell when food or drinks include cannabis, especially when the package is fun and colorful. Remember to store in a safe place, out of sight and out of reach. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
This presentation on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being brought to you by Mason County Public Utility District Number 1, Washington State's first public utility district, proudly serving the Hood Canal in Mason County since 1935.
So bottom of the 6th we go. 8-2 is our score, Jerry.
Yeah, Diedrich, Skylar McLean will be leading off the bottom of the 6th for North Mason. He is 1 for 2, a single, and he struck out. He was up to bat in the last inning, but there was a runner thrown out at first.
Right, and the pitcher still is Chase Benninger, looking to close this thing out. He's had quite a afternoon here.
He has.
So he'll get set to throw the first pitch to McLean. He swings and he pops one foul off the first base line out of play. And that's 0-1 to Skylar. Here's the 0-1 to McLean. That's going to be ball 1, 1-1.
How many pitches has he thrown?
Benninger is working with 84.
Okay, thank you.
Here's the 1-1. Strike 2 called, so 1-2 to Skylar McLean. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Skylar McLean, the leadoff batter for North Mason here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bulldogs trailing the Olympic Trojans 8-2. Pitch on the way, swing and a ground ball chop it. It's going to go right to the third base. He'll glove it, throw it across just in time to get the out as McLean couldn't beat it out just by a step. So out number 1.
Fast.
Yeah. So 1 away.
But that was a nice throw also by the third baseman.
Yeah, it was Nino Wells. thrown over to Brown at first base.
And now up is number 2, Dylan Prideaux.
And
this is his first time up to
yeah,
bat.
where is he playing now? Let's see if I can't figure it out here. Well, he's going to step in. 1 out, nobody on for North Mason here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch on the way. Strike at the knees.
Nice.
So 0-1. Here's the next offering. Swing and a ground ball. That's fair. Gets into left field, right up the third base line. Prideaux rounds first, and then he's going to head back. Is up with the ball is going to be Gavin Wells. Throws it in, and there's 1 on and 1 out. So here's Ringstad. Josiah Ringstad now pitching.
Yeah, and Josiah I've got him down for 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop. There's something wrong there. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's right. Here's the pitch on the way. Runner goes, pop fly, center field. That's going to, oh, what a grab there by the center fielder,
oh, no.
Walters, and did they get him? They got him. They did, because Prideaux couldn't get back to the bag, just missed it. And that was a quick half inning for North Mason. We head to the 7th, 8-2 Olympic with the lead, and
it was a nice catch.
We'll be right back. Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
With all the question marks and uncertainty that surrounds today's real estate market, it is nice to know that there is a local team that has the experience with all types of markets to ensure you make a sound decision, whether selling or buying. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate has been a staple in the Mason County community for over 40 years. Feel free to reach out to Jeff, Andy, Chrissy, or Laura with any real estate questions that you may have. When it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge.
Neighbors help each other. It's how community works, and it's how we do business at Hood Canal Communications. We know you count on us for value-priced internet, TV, and phone service, backed by friendly local support. Your hard-earned dollars stay right here as we invest in our community, our people, and smart technology. Hood Canal Communications, keeping our community connected while being a good neighbor.
So we're now here in the 7th inning. Top of the 7th, 8-2 is the score, with Olympic on top and coming to bat.
Is the pitcher, Chase Benninger, number 34. He had a double in the first, scored a run, had an RBI, struck out in the second, got a single in the fourth, and has a walk. So he would be 2 for 3.
So, Jerry, I'm still trying to figure out who. There's some differing information on everything, as I have Ringstad as the pitcher wearing number 17. The sheet says this, the lineup card has it, Ringstad at number 17. My cheat sheet, they fixed it. Okay, never mind.
Okay, thanks.
They had it all messed up for me. I was going, wait a minute.
And he came in relief back in the last inning, and he's the 4th pitcher for the Bulldogs. And leading off is your pitcher, Chase Benninger.
Maybe he'll rest the next half inning for the Trojans. We'll see what happens here as he'll lead things off. Here's the first pitch from Ringstad to Benninger. That's going to be ball 1. That was an interesting pitch, Jerry. Just sank in there really quick and rolled through the legs of everybody. To the backstop. Right in Jerry's front yard, if you will. So 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Ooh, it's going to be ball 2. That's a little high. 2 balls and no strikes to leadoff batter in Chase Benninger. Here's Ringstad's next offering. Going to be ball 3, so 3 balls, no strikes. Antonio Castorina on deck for Olympic. The first is Chase Benninger at bat. Swing and a miss on that pitch. 3-1 to Chase Benninger. Next pitch on the way. Swing and a pop-up. That's going over there. Sabrayakoff will wave everybody off and grab it just off the dirt in the grass. Be on first base, and that's out number 1. So 1 away for Olympic.
And now up is number 6, Antonio Castorina. He's a designated hitter. He got on by way of a walk back in the 5th, and he is 0 for 2.
1 out,
Awesome.
Nobody on. Here's first pitch to Castorina. Comes in there. Ooh, that looked good, but it's a
It
little
sure
high.
did, didn't it? Yeah.
Ball 1. Again, we're a little bit off. We don't see the plate as clearly as our home plate umpire. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a pop fly. That's going to be shallow. In the infield, and McLean will grab that one, and that's out number 2. So 2 away for Olympic here.
And now up is your catcher, number 13, Jake Gordon. And Jake has gone on by way of a walk 3 times, has an RBI, and is 0 for 1. Grounded out to the third baseman back in the 2nd. But he's had 3 walks.
All right, so 2 out, nobody on. First pitch to Gordon is a swing and a miss, so it's strike 1. We're in the top of the 7th inning. 8-2 is our score. Olympic on top and at bat. Josiah Ringstad on the mound for North Mason. With 2 down, here's the 0-1. Strike 2 called. So 0-2 to Jake Gordon. Drew Walters on deck should Gordon reach, but he's behind in the count and 0-2. 2 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch from Ringstad to Gordon. Swing and a ground ball. It takes a wicked bounce, but
nice try.
Nice try by Shoemaker. Couldn't get it, and Ringstad's heading to, or I'm sorry, Gordon heading to second base, and nice throw in there as McLean tagged him out, and that will do it for Olympic here in the 7th. We head to the bottom of the frame. North Mason's got some work to do. We'll be right back. It's Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Hi folks, Diedrich Allen with Mason Web TV powered by HCC, your source for live high school sports with play-by-play. Once again, Mason Web TV is broadcasting select games every week this school year. Football, basketball, baseball, softball. We bring you all the action, from the kickoff to the final whistle, from the tip-off to the final buzzer, from the first pitch to the last out. Watch how it happens on Mason Web TV powered by HCC. Business owners, you can get in on the action as well. Go online, email, call, or text right now to find out how.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job. It's our promise.
It's a new pitcher for the Olympic Trojans to close this thing out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That is number 5, Toby Moore. Let's see here. He pitched versus Lakeside on Saturday, went 3 innings, no runs, hits or walks, 3 strikeouts, and faced 11 batters in that time. So he'll take over here to close it out for Chase Benninger, who's done a heck of a job on the mound today.
He sure did.
Let's take a look at his stats here, Jerry, real quickly for Chase Benninger. Went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 10 hits on the official count here. Is that what you got there, Jerry? Something very close to that.
I do have 9 hits.
9 hits, all right, well. A little fight for the ball here.
Have a little fun here, that's good.
Kind of like that when they're, at least they're not too serious about it.
A little bit.
So it'll be Moore taking over on the mound for Olympic. It's an 8-2 ball game. Bottom of the 7th inning. Last 3 outs for North Mason. And is it Boston Stanley leading things off for the Bulldogs? He didn't have that solo home run. See if he can do it again.
Yeah, now Boston is 2 for 3. A double, a home run, an RBI, of course, and also flew out to center field. So he's 2 for 3.
So he'll lead things off for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the 7th, trailing 8-2. North Mason needs some base runners. Toby Moore on the mound to prevent that. And he'll toe the rubber and get the first pitch coming to Boston Stanley here momentarily. So kick and the throw, that's going to be ball 1. So Boston Stanley is, we got 1 ball, no strikes. Danner Jones on deck for North Mason. Here's the 0-1. There's a ground ball right over to Wells at third. Nino will get it up, throw it across, and ball came out of the glove of Brown at first, and Stanley is safe at first, so 1 on.
Yeah, that's a tough one to call, but I'm going to give it an air.
All right.
But I'll give credit to Boston Stanley for hustling. And now up is Danner Jones, who's now was a pitcher, and I'm not sure if he's back out in center field.
Yeah, he's over at left. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. Strike 1, so 1 on. And an 0-1 to Danner Jones. Boston Stanley at first base for North Mason.
Yeah, Danner Jones has had a double, has a single, has scored a run.
Here's a pitch on the way. Fastball swing and a miss by Danner Jones. Again, that's 0-2. Boston Stanley over at first base. Nobody out. Danner Jones, second batter. Skylar McLean on deck for North Mason. But Danner Jones is 0-2. Here's a pitch on the way. Another fastball. A ground ball chopper over there to Nino Wells. A throw to second to get out there. Throw over to first. And Danner Jones beat that throw, but Stanley's out at second. So Jones is on first and 1 way. So now I'm assuming that's his mother right there to my right. And here's I'm sorry, this is Calvin Rice. I was wrong. They changed the order for me there, Jerry. There's Calvin Rice batting.
Yeah, Calvin is up now, and Calvin is 1 for 3, had a single back in the 5th.
So 1 on and 1 out. First pitch in there to Rice is strike 1.
And Calvin has had a busy night behind the plate.
Yes, he has.
He'll sleep well tonight.
So 1 out, 1 on. Danner Jones at first base. The 0-1 to Calvin Rice. Here it comes from Toby Moore. Pitch on the way. Another strike call. That's strike 2. So 0-2 to Calvin Rice. Jones at first to take a lead over there. 1 out, 1 on. 0-2 to Calvin Rice. Here's the pitch on the way. Another fastball. That's swinging, swatted towards the left field. That's up to the fence. Rounding second, heading to third is Jones. It'll hold up there. There's a double for Calvin Rice.
Stand up double. That's his second hit in a row. And he advances Danner Jones all the way over to third.
Third base. All right. So runners at second and third. 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position. And who's batting?
And now up.
I think
should be Reed Shoemaker.
Let's see. There's a swing and a ground ball. That is Shoemaker. High chopper over to shortstop. Throw to first for the out there. Coming in is Jones to score. There is 2 out. It's also on the play as Rice made his way to third base. So 2 out, 1 in, 1 on. So that makes it 8-3 now.
But give Reed Shoemaker a RBI on that.
So Here's the first pitch to this batter, and I can't see who that is. Oh, it's Kingston Sabreakoff. Takes ball 1. So 2 out, 1 on, 1 in. Calvin Rice is at third base. The batter is Kingston Sabreakoff. Second pitch to him, swinging a ground ball. That's going over to shortstop. Gloved there. Throw to first, and that is that. And that will be your final score, 8-3, as the Bulldogs do add 1 on to their total. But they fall to the Olympic Trojans by a final score of 8-3. We will take a quick timeout. We'll be back. Jerry's going to have some totals. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Kids learn by watching adults, so consume cannabis out of sight of young people. And be a Mason County kid's greatest influence. Brought to you by Mason County Public Health and Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition.
This broadcast on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being made possible by Mason Health, United Community, Empowered People, Exceptional Health.
There's so many great things about life in Mason County, and Hood Canal Communications is proud to be one more. Headquartered in Union, we offer the speed and reliability your family needs, backed by hometown service and support. Whether you need to just check email or power all those Wi-Fi devices around your home, HCC has the right package for you. Stop by one of our friendly offices, call or visit hcc.net to learn more. Hood Canal Communications, keeping our community connected.
An important safety reminder from Mason PUD3. Please never touch a downed power line. If a power line falls on your vehicle, stay inside and call 911. Tell others to stay back, wait for emergency personnel. Never touch anyone or anything in contact with a downed power line. Always stay at least 100 feet away. Never use an object to move a downed wire. Don't remove trees or limbs near a downed line. Electricity travels through ground, trees, branches, and more. It's not safe. If you see a downed line, call PUD3 at 360-426-8255.
What is gig speed internet? We could bore you with the technical details, or we could tell you that it's marathoning movies on your favorite streaming service with no interruptions, or having the grandkids over and not hearing a single complaint about your Wi-Fi. In other words, it's just what you needed. Switch to gig speed internet from Hood Canal Communications today and get $25 off your first 4 months. Visit hcc.net or call 360-898-2481.
Well, it's a final here in Belfair. The Olympic Trojans take care of business and knock off the North Mason Bulldogs on senior night. 8-3, the final score here. As the Trojans came out in the first and just never let up, Jerry. Just kind of cruised their way through. And making some totals there. And let's just see here. Jerry's still making his totals here. We'll talk about these two teams will be playing each other tomorrow to wrap up the regular season. This will be at the Kitsap County Fairgrounds. I believe the World Field will be the actual location for that ball game. Our next broadcast will be Thursday when the North Mason Fast Pitch Softball team hosts Bainbridge on the other side of the hill. First pitch for 15. Jerry will got to step away from that one, and I'll be solo on that one. But the totals in this game, Jerry has them 8-3, the final for Olympic on top. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, thank you. For the Olympic Trojans, they had 8 runs on 6 hits. They got on by way of 12 walks. And I have them down for committing 1 error.
Okay.
And the leading hitters. Okay, Blake Parker was 1 for 2. Chase Benninger was 2 for 4, had a double. Nino Wells was 2 for 3. And I'm missing one here, but I know they got 6 hits.
You said Nino. Let's see here. Gordon had 1 hit.
That's right. That's right. Yep. You're right. That adds up to 6.
There's 6.
Yep. Yep, it does.
Parker had the one.
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
North-
RBI, real quickly, RBIs for Burdick, Benninger, Castorino, he had an RBI. Gordon had an RBI, and Nino Wells had an RBI. Go ahead with North Mason totals, Jerry.
Okay, for North Mason, they had 3 runs. They did have 10 hits.
Well, officially it's 12, according to
12.
this. Yeah. Yeah, you'll figure it out later. Go ahead with what you're doing.
So let's see what we have here. Boston Stanley was 2 for 4.
Not 3.
Had a home run. Had a double. Good night.
Yeah.
Danner Jones had 2 hits, 2 for 4, and had a double. Calvin Rice was 2 for 4, had a double.
3 for him. So those are, if Stanley had 3 and Rice had 3, according to this official thing.
Oh, Stanley, they gave him?
Yeah, they gave him 3. And they gave Rice 3. So that's where you're just off.
I think that's where, yeah. And I think I gave an error on one of those situations.
Yeah, I think you did. But it's all right.
Reed Shoemaker was 1 for 4. Kingston Serabakov was 1 for 3. Skylar McLean was 1 for 3. Carson Morris, no hits.
No hits. Prideaux had 1 for 1.
Who?
Prideaux. Dylan Prideaux was 1 for 1.
Okay.
And
Dylan Prideaux, yes, he was 1 for 1. Mm-hmm. Yep,
So
and that added up. I have 10, but I could see
12,
where it might have been 11 or 12.
At 12 officially, Stanley had an RBI on the solo home run. Shoemaker had an RBI. Sabrakov had an RBI. Just to throw those out there. So
Chase Benninger had quite a game,
Yes.
not only at the bat, being 2 for 4 with a double, but he only threw 1 walk. No, that's amazing.
Yeah,
in
1
itself.
walk, 5 strikeouts.
Yep.
2 earned runs, 10 hits officially there. 6 innings of work. That's pretty good for Chase. I'm impressed with him. I thought he was going to go out there in the 5th, and he kept going.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's great. All right, I already talked about these teams playing each other tomorrow, and our next broadcast will be Thursday, the fast pitch softball with North Mason and Bainbridge. Anything to add there, Jerry?
Well, no. I'm always impressed also with Boston Stanley. I was so pleased. I don't know if this is his first home run of the season or not, but, boy, that was a shot.
Yeah,
and then
sure
he comes
was.
back in the next inning and gets a double. And so, wow.
Yeah. So that'll do it for us here in Belfair. Final score again, Olympic 8, North Mason 3. We will talk to you on Thursday without Jerry. And you've been watching high school sports on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
The preceding presentation on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, has been brought to you by Hood Canal Communications, committed to providing quality services that exceed customer expectations in voice, video, data, and customer service, keeping our community connected since 1934. Mason County Public Health and Human Services Prevention Education Partners Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition. Mason PUD 3, connecting our community with safe, reliable, economical, and sustainable services 24/7. The Conklin team at Windermere Real Estate. When it comes to real estate, nothing compares to local knowledge. Mason County Public Utility District Number 1, Washington State's first public utility district, proudly serving the Hood Canal in Mason County since 1935. And Mason Health, united community, empowered people, exceptional health.
Thanks for watching Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.